The sky above Metropolis didn't crack. It screamed. A white fracture ripped across the clouds, like reality itself had been slashed open by a blade of light. Thunder followed a half-second later, deep, bone-rattling wrong. The kind of sound that made birds drop mid-flight and car alarms explode across downtown in chaotic chorus. And then something fell. A streak of fire tore through the upper atmosphere, not red like a meteor, but gold. A brilliant blazing comet wrapped in crackling energy, spiraling out of control. It punched through the skyline, skimming past the glass towers of LexCorp, vaporizing the top 3 floors in a shockwave of molten steel and screaming concrete. The impact hit Centennial Park. For a split second, there was silence. Then the ground erupted. A dome of dust and shattered earth blasted outward, flipping cars like toys, shattering windows for blocks. Trees disintegrated, the lake evaporated in an instant hiss of steam. At the center of a smoldering crater, a boy lay face down. Orange fabric, blue wristbands, spiky black hair, untouched by the flames that still licked the edges of the crater. His chest rose slowly. Then he groaned. Ow! He pushed himself up, blinking through the smoke. His dark eyes scanned unfamiliar skyscrapers, alien architecture, strange air, different gravity, slightly heavier. He scratched the back of his head. This isn't King Kai's place. High above, a red and blue blur hovered in absolute stillness. Superman watched the crater with narrowed eyes. X-ray vision pierced through dust, locking on to the stranger's biology. Not human. Not Kryptonian. Something else. Power, raw, compressed, coiled, sat inside the boy like a star barely contained by skin. Superman descended slowly, boots touching the edge of molten asphalt. The boy looked up and grinned. Oh, aye. Are you strong? Superman didn't smile back. You just caused $500 million in damage. The boy looked around at the devastation. Oh, sorry about that. I didn't mean to crash. You didn't mean to? Yeah, I was fighting this pink guy and then everything got really bright and poof, now I'm here. He stood up fully, stretching like he'd just woken from a nap. My name's Goku. Where am I? Superman studied him carefully. No malice in his tone, no deception in his heartbeat. You're on Earth. Goku blinked. Oh, cool, which one? Before Superman could respond, a streak of emerald light slashed down from orbit. A construct cage materialized around Goku in an instant, hard light bars humming with cosmic energy. Green Lantern landed beside Superman, ring blazing. Unknown extraterrestrial impact confirmed, Hal Jordan said, voice tense. Power readings are off the charts. This guy's putting out energy levels that don't make sense. Goku poked one of the glowing bars. Oh, is this magic? It's willpower, Hal snapped, and it's strong enough to hold gods. Goku smiled. Heat. He flexed. The air changed. The dust lifted off the ground in spirals. A faint white aura shimmered around him, gentle at first, then brighter. The green construct began to vibrate. Hal's eyes widened. Clark. The bars shattered. Not exploded, shattered like fragile glass. Hal stumbled back midair. Okay, that's new. Superman stepped forward, cape billowing in the heat distortion rising from Goku's aura. We don't want to fight. Goku tilted his head. You don't? No. Goku's grin widened. That's kind of disappointing. The ground cracked under his feet, not from aggression, but excitement. Superman felt it now, that pressure, that impossible density of power. Not evil, but limitless. Sirens wailed in the distance. From the shadows of a nearby rooftop, cold, calculating eyes observed everything. Batman lowered a surveillance lens slowly. "Clark," Bruce's voice murmured through comms, calm but razor-focused. "That energy spike wasn't planetary, it was multiversal." Superman didn't look away from Goku. "I know." Inside Wayne Tower, holographic screens flickered with chaotic data, dimensional tears, cosmic radiation signatures that didn't match any known galactic sector. "This isn't an invasion," Bruce continued. "It's a displacement." Goku bounced on his heels. "So, who's the strongest guy here?" Hal muttered, "I already don't like him." Superman folded his arms. "Strength isn't what makes someone strong." Goku laughed. "That's something a strong guy would say." And then the sky darkened again, not from clouds. From a boom tube ripping open above the city, purple fire spilled across the skyline. The temperature dropped. A voice thundered from the portal like the growl of a dying universe. "You feel it too, don't you, Kryptonian?" Massive stone-like boots stepped through the portal. Armor forged in apocalypse, eyes burning with Omega energy. Darkseid had arrived. People screamed in the streets below. Superman's jaw tightened. "Darkseid!" Darkseid's gaze shifted from Superman to Goku. And for the first time in centuries, the tyrant of apocalypse smiled. "That power does not belong to this universe." Goku blinked. "Whoa! You look tough!" Darkseid descended slowly, each step cracking the pavement. "I am inevitable." Goku scratched his cheek. I've heard that one before." Without warning, Omega beams erupted. Twin red lances of annihilation twisted through the air toward Goku, bending reality around them. Superman moved instantly, but Goku vanished. A sonic boom detonated where he had stood. He reappeared mid-air behind Darkseid. Too slow. His fist connected. The impact detonated like a nuclear strike. Shockwaves tore through skyscrapers. The bay churned violently. Windows imploded across 3 districts. Darkseid actually flew through 5 buildings before crashing into the harbor, carving a trench through the water. Hal stared in disbelief. He just punched Darkseid. Superman looked up at Goku hovering casually, aura flickering playfully around him. And for the first time, he felt unsure. The ocean exploded upward as Darkseid rose, armor cracked, eyes blazing brighter. "You dare!" Goku appeared again, rapid fire strikes raining down, each punch cracking armor, each kick warping the air. Darkseid roared, unleashing a point-blank Omega explosion. Goku blocked. The blast carved a canyon through downtown Metropolis, vaporizing everything in its path. Smoke swallowed the battlefield. When it cleared, Goku stood there, clothes torn slightly, smiling wider than ever. "Oh man, you're amazing!" Darkseid's expression shifted from rage to intrigue. "Apocalypse will claim you." Above them, space itself rippled again. Not a boom tube. Something worse. A thin, glowing line began carving across the sky, like a blade slicing canvas. Batman's monitors went black one by one. "Clark," Bruce said quietly, "that's not Darkseid." The line widened. Stars vanished behind it. And from the tear, something ancient looked back. Goku felt it. For the first time since he arrived, his smile faded. Darkseid slowly turned toward the rift. Even he took a step back. The air trembled with a pressure older than God's. A voice echoed, not loud, but everywhere. "Foreign anomaly detected." Superman rose into the air beside Goku. "What did you bring here?" Goku's fists tightened. "I don't know." From the tear, a colossal hand of shifting cosmic geometry began pushing through, fractals of light and shadow folding over themselves, rewriting the sky. Reality bent around it. Darkseid whispered almost reverently, "The source." Their hand reached toward Earth, and the ocean began to rise. Goku's aura fled instinctively, white lightning snapping around him. Superman's eyes burned red. Hal's ring screamed warnings. Batman activated every contingency protocol simultaneously, and above them all, the universe cracked wider, cut to black. The ocean didn't rise like a wave. It lifted like gravity had forgotten which direction was down. A continent-sized wall of water peeled away from the Atlantic, hanging in the air above Metropolis, suspended beneath that impossible fracture in the sky. Cars, ships, debris, entire docks floated inside the rising mass like insects trapped in amber. Lightning crawled across the surface of the suspended sea. Not natural lightning. White, angular, geometric. The colossal hand pushing through the rift wasn't flesh. It was architecture, living equations folding into fingers. Every movement bent space like wet metal. Superman hovered beside Goku, jaw set. "We can't let that thing fully emerge." Goku's eyes were locked on the fracture, pupils shrinking slightly. He could feel it. Not Ki. Not God Ki. Something older. Something that didn't breathe. Below them, Darkseid watched with calculating silence, cloak snapping violently in the distortion winds. "This universe is being weighed," Darkseid muttered, "and found unstable." Goku glanced sideways. "You know this thing?" Darkseid's eyes flickered. "It is beyond even me." That answer alone made Hal Jordan swallow hard. Above, the suspended ocean began to spin, forming a colossal vortex around the descending cosmic hand. Buildings lifted from their foundations, streets peeled apart like skin. Batman's voice cut through the comms. "Clark, that energy signature is rewriting physical constants. If it anchors itself, Earth won't just be destroyed, it'll be overwritten." Superman didn't hesitate. He shot upward, red and blue streak cutting through the vortex, aiming directly for the descending entity. Goku grinned. "Guess we're doing this." He vanished in a flash. The two figures collided with the cosmic hand simultaneously. The impact did nothing. Superman's fist met a surface that wasn't solid, wasn't liquid, wasn't energy. It absorbed the strike, translating force into cascading light patterns across its structure. Goku punched next. His blow detonated with enough power to shatter planets. The sky rippled. The hand paused. For half a second. Then a pulse of white geometry erupted outward. Superman was hurled back like a comet, crashing through 3 skyscrapers before stopping himself mid-air. Goku spun violently, skidding across the surface of the floating ocean, carving a burning trench through suspended water before flipping back upright. His smile was gone. "Oh, okay." The hand flexed, and gravity inverted. Metropolis flipped. Cars, people, buildings, everything began falling upward toward the rift. Hal screamed into his ring. "Emergency evacuation protocol. All lanterns in Sector 2814 respond now." Green streaks pierced the sky from orbit as lantern reinforcements arrived. Hard light constructs forming massive nets to catch civilians mid-fall. Superman darted through the chaos, grabbing entire apartment complexes, anchoring them back to Earth with sheer force. Goku hovered in the center of the storm, aura beginning to flare brighter, white shifting toward silver. He closed his eyes, breathed. The world slowed. The falling debris became drifting dust. The cosmic hand moved, but now he could see the intent behind the motion. Not emotion, not malice. Correction. It was correcting. Foreign energy source detected. The omnipresent voice echoed again, and then every eye in the sky turned toward Goku. Multiple shapes began forming behind the hand, angular silhouettes, entities of pure abstraction. They weren't invading, they were targeting. Goku opened his eyes. Ah, so it's me. Omega Beam suddenly lanced past him, blasting into one of the forming shapes. Darkseid had fired. The beam twisted and writhed, but this time it wasn't redirected. It was erased. The red energy simply unraveled mid-air. Darkseid's expression hardened. For the first time in his existence, the Omega effect had failed. The colossal hand shifted direction toward Goku. Space collapsed between them. It grabbed him, not physically, but conceptually. The air around Goku crystallized into a cage of collapsing dimensions. His aura flared violently as invisible pressure crushed inward from every side. Superman rocketed forward, slamming into the structure with everything he had. Cracks formed in reality, but the cage held. Goku gritted his teeth. His bones creaked. His vision blurred as fragments of alien stars flashed through his mind. Different universes, infinite, being scanned, measured, rejected. "You do not belong," the voice intoned. Goku's breath came out shaky, but his grin flickered back. "I get that a lot." His aura shifted again, white to silver. His pupils dissolved into calm, empty focus. The wind stopped. Everything stopped. Even the cosmic hand hesitated. Superman felt it immediately, the change in pressure, not explosive. Quiet. Precise. Goku's body moved without tension. Without effort. The collapsing dimensions around him began to shatter, not from force but from impossibility. The cage couldn't calculate him, couldn't predict him. Cracks spiderweb through the geometric prison. Darkseid watched, eyes narrowing. "What is this state?" Goku whispered softly. "Ultra instinct." The prison exploded into silver light. Shockwaves rippled across the suspended ocean, disintegrating the vortex entirely. The floating water crashed back toward Earth in a controlled cascade as Superman rushed to redirect the tidal collapse. The cosmic hand recoiled slightly. Goku vanished. He reappeared above it, silver aura flowing like liquid starlight. He didn't roar, didn't charge. He simply struck. One palm pressed against the entity's surface. The universe blinked. A shockwave of silver expanded outward, not destructive, but disruptive. The geometric patterns destabilized. For the first time, the voice faltered. Anomaly escalating. Goku flowed through space like a thought, each movement rewriting the battlefield. He dodged beams of collapsing energy before they formed. He struck pressure points in structures that didn't obey physics. The hand began to fragment. Superman joined him, fists blazing red as he hammered into the destabilized form. Hal and the Lanterns focused their combined willpower to a planetary shield containing the fallout. Darkseid watched, calculating. The rift above began to close. Slowly, but not before something else pushed through. A single eye, vast, golden, aware. It looked at Goku, and Goku looked back. For a fraction of a second, Ultra instinct flickered, because this presence was not correcting him. It was studying him, and it was smiling. The remaining fragments of the cosmic hand suddenly detonated outward, forcing everyone back. The rift snapped shut. The sky cleared. Gravity normalized. Metropolis fell silent, except for distant sirens and crackling fires. Goku hovered mid-air, silver aura slowly fading back to white, then nothing. He exhaled. That was fun. Superman floated beside him, cape torn, expression grave. That wasn't an enemy. Goku tilted his head. It tried to delete me. Yes, Superman said quietly, because you don't fit here. On a distant rooftop, Batman lowered his cowl lenses. It wasn't repelled, Bruce murmured. It retreated. Darkseid turned toward Goku one last time. This universe will break around you, Cyan. Boom tube energy ignited behind him. And when it does, I will be waiting. He vanished. Silence settled over the ruined city. Hal hovered closer. Okay, so what now? Goku looked up at the sky where the rift had been. He could still feel it. Watching. Somewhere, beyond the veil of this universe, something had taken interest. And Goku's instincts told him it wasn't finished. Far beyond Earth's orbit, deep within the void, a throne of shifting cosmic light flickered on, and seated upon it, a presence turned its gaze toward Earth. Prepare the anti-life equation, it whispered. Back on the surface, Goku clenched his fists slightly. He smiled. But this time, it wasn't playful. Cut to black. The Watchtower trembled. Not from impact, from calculation. High above Earth's orbit, the headquarters of the Justice League pulsed with cascading alerts. Holographic projections spun in every direction, dimensional maps fracturing, probability trees collapsing into red spirals. At the center of it all stood Batman, cape still dusted with ash from Metropolis. Run it again, he ordered. The AI complied. Every simulation ended the same way. Earth cracked. Not exploded. Cracked, like glass under mounting pressure. Behind him, Wonder Woman crossed her arms, golden armor reflecting flickers of cosmic data. You believe the entity will return? It never left, Bruce replied. Across the chamber, the Flash paced restlessly. Okay, but we've dealt with multiverse stuff before. Anti-monitor, crisis events, speed force tears. This feels different. It is, Bruce said flatly. Those were invasions. This is immune response. Silence settled. At the far viewport, Earth rotated peacefully, blue and unaware. Inside a reinforced chamber below the Watchtower, Goku stood barefoot on metal flooring, staring at the planet beneath him with wide-eyed wonder. Wow, it's really pretty. Superman stood beside him, arms folded. You've never seen Earth from orbit? Not like this, Goku grinned. My Earth feels different. Clark studied him carefully. Without the chaos, without the aura, he looked harmless, almost naive. But Clark could still feel it. That endless depth. You said you were fighting someone before you arrived? Yeah, a pink guy, super stretchy, kinda annoying. Goku scratched his cheek. We were going all out. Clark's eyes narrowed slightly. And something intervened? Yeah, it felt like someone grabbed the whole battlefield and shook it. Clark turned toward the viewport again. He could feel it too, watching. Suddenly, the alarm shifted tone. Lower.
Sharper. Bruce's voice cut through the chamber speakers. Clark, we have incoming. From where? Everywhere. Outside the Watchtower windows, space rippled. Not with a boom tube. With absence. Stars blinked out in sections, swallowed by creeping fields of black. Like ink spreading through water. Hal Jordan's voice crackled over comms. Lantern Corps reporting mass disappearances in outer sectors. Entire civilizations just gone. Goku tilted his head. That's bad, right? Clark didn't answer. On the main screen, an image zoomed in, an entire planet flickering before flattening into a two-dimensional silhouette, then vanishing. No explosion, no debris. Erased. Bruce's jaw tightened. It's testing perimeter resistance. Diana stepped forward. Then we meet it with strength. Before Clark could respond, The blackness appeared outside the watchtower. A perfect sphere of void, absorbing light, bending gravity. It touched the outer hull. Metal dissolved silently. The watchtower shuddered violently. "Evacuate non-essential personnel," Bruce ordered. Flash vanished in a red streak, ferrying technicians to escape pods faster than thought. Hal projected a massive emerald barrier around the station, but the void simply pressed closer, eating it. Goku stepped toward the viewport. He felt it. Not rage, not evil. Indifference. The sphere pulsed, and from within it, a shape formed. Tall, armored, carved from antilight. Eyes glowing with mathematical precision. Not Darkseid. Something colder. A voice echoed directly into every mind aboard the station. Foreign anomaly persists. Its gaze locked onto Goku. Source imbalance traced. Goku stepped forward instinctively. Clark grabbed his shoulder. Not alone. The void being moved first. It phased through the hull as if matter were optional. Diana lunged, sword flashing gold. Her blade met the entity's torso. It passed through like smoke. The entity raised one hand. Diana froze mid-strike. Not physically, existentially. Her outline flickered, edges pixelating. "Diana!" Clark roared. Heat vision erupted, twin beams slamming into the being's head. The beams bent, curved, and shot back. Clark barely twisted aside as his own energy carved through the command deck. Hal constructed chains of pure will wrapping the entity in layered bindings. The chains evaporated on contact. Flash vibrated through the floor and attempted a molecular destabilization strike. His fist passed through empty geometry, and he was flung backward as time itself stuttered around him. Goku watched, calm, focused. The entity turned fully toward him. "You are the deviation." Goku's stance shifted. Silver light flickered faintly around his body. "Yeah, I get that." The entity moved, but Goku was already gone. He appeared behind it, fist snapping forward in a perfect arc. This time, there was resistance. A crack of silver split the void being's shoulder. The chamber imploded from the shockwave. Everyone was blasted into zero gravity as the watchtower's outer section tore open to space. Clark grabbed Diana. Hal reinforced the breach. Flash caught Bruce midair. And in the center of vacuum, Goku and the void being clashed. Each strike bent stars. Silver aura against absolute darkness. Goku flowed effortlessly, ultra instinct whispering through his muscles, but the entity adapted with terrifying speed. Each dodge became harder, each counter sharper. "You destabilize universal constant," it intoned mid-combat. Goku deflected a blade of pure absence inches from his throat. "You talk too much." He drove a knee into its core. The entity split in half, then reformed instantly. Clark joined the fight, hammering the being with blows that could shatter moons. Together they pushed it back through the breach and into open space. Earth loomed below. The void being extended both arms. The black sphere expanded rapidly, engulfing satellites, swallowing moonlight. Containment phase. Hal's ring shrieked warnings. Bruce's voice cut in through emergency channel. "Clark! If that field reaches atmosphere." "I know." Goku hovered, breathing steadily. Silver aura intensifying. But something was wrong. Ultra instinct wasn't flowing smoothly. It felt observed. The void being paused, mid-expansion. Its head tilted slightly. Behind it, space cracked again. Not violently, precisely. A seam opened like a surgical incision. And from within it, that golden eye reappeared.
Vast, unblinking. The void being immediately knelt. Directive acknowledged. Goku's heart skipped. Clark felt it too. That presence again. The eye focused entirely on Goku. And suddenly, Ultra Instinct shut off, like a switch flipped. Goku gasped as silver light vanished. What? The void being lunged. Clark intercepted, but the entity drove a blade through Clark's shoulder, sending him spiraling toward Earth in a streak of red. "Clark!" Diana's scream echoed over comms. Goku's rage flared. Golden aura ignited violently around him, hair flashing upward. Super Saiyan. He roared and charged, but the golden eye pulsed once, and gravity crushed him. His body slammed into an invisible wall mid-charge, bones creaking under impossible weight. "You are not authorized," the omnipresent voice declared. The void sphere began expanding again. Faster. Earth's atmosphere trembled as blackness brushed its upper edge. Inside the Watchtower wreckage, Bruce stared at the data in horror. "It's not attacking randomly," he whispered. "It's preparing deletion." Down below, cities lit up in panic. Across the globe, tectonic plates trembled. Darkseid, standing on a distant asteroid throne, watched silently. And smiled. Back in orbit, Goku screamed, aura flaring brighter as he pushed against the crushing force. Veins bulged. Space fractured around him. The golden eye narrowed. Escalation detected. The void being raised both arms toward Earth. The sphere surged. Clouds began dissolving at the edge of contact. And then, from deep space, a new voice boomed. "You will not touch this world." A massive warship burst from hyperspace, cannons blazing with ancient energy. And standing at its helm, a figure cloaked in cosmic fire. The sky filled with unfamiliar sigils. The battlefield froze in suspended tension, and the golden eye blinked, cut to black. Space burned. The warship didn't arrive, it manifested. A cathedral of alien metal and living flame tore through hyperspace, its hull carved with symbols older than stars. Cannons rotated outward like the opening petals of a mechanical sun, each barrel glowing with condensed cosmic energy. At its helm stood a towering figure wrapped in burning gravitic aura, eyes like collapsing galaxies, voice like war drums. "I am Highfather of New Genesis. This world stands under our protection." The name echoed through comm channels as identification protocols triggered across what remained of the Watchtower. Highfather had entered the battlefield. The golden eye, hovering beyond reality, did not retreat. It studied. The void being paused its planetary deletion protocol, black sphere halting inches from Earth's upper atmosphere. Clouds hissed where the void brushed them, evaporating into mathematical dust. Superman restabilized in orbit, blood drifting in frozen red spheres from his shoulder wound. He clenched his jaw, pain irrelevant. "Highfather," Clark breathed. "You know what this is?" Highfather's staff ignited, projecting cosmic equations into open space. "It is not an invader. It is a sentinel." Goku strained against invisible gravity, aura flaring gold as he forced his body upright inch by inch. "Then tell it to stop." The golden eye pulsed. The void being reoriented toward Highfather's ship. External interference confirmed. Highfather raised his staff. "By the source, you will withdraw." The ship's cannons fired. Beams of divine energy, ancient, roaring, saturated with the essence of New Genesis, slammed into the void sphere. The impact lit the solar system like a newborn star. For a moment, the sphere dented. Hairline fractures of silver light rippled across its surface. Goku's eyes widened. "Oh, that worked!" The golden eye narrowed. Reality folded. The void sphere inverted, absorbing the divine beams and converting them into deeper blackness. Highfather's expression darkened. It adapts instantly. The void being raised one arm toward the warship. A thin line of absence shot outward. Not explosive. Precise. It sliced through 3 of the ship's cannons effortlessly. Internal systems screamed as entire decks vanished without debris. Highfather slammed his staff into the command floor. Shield matrix maximum output. Golden barriers flared around the ship as the void advanced. Below, Earth rotated, unaware of how close it was to erasure. Batman's voice crackled through emergency channels. "Clark, if they fail, we're out of options." Clark didn't respond. He was staring at Goku. The Saiyan was still pinned by that crushing cosmic authority, veins bulging, aura flickering violently between gold and base form. The golden eye was suppressing him. Not physically. Permission-based reality control. Goku gasped, muscles trembling. "It's locking me out." Superman's eyes widened. "Locking you out of what?" "Everything." The void being turned its focus fully towards Highfather now. Earth temporarily secondary. The deletion sphere surged again, swallowing fragments of the warship's outer hull. Highfather stepped forward, aura blazing brighter. "I have faced Darkseid. I have faced annihilation. I will not allow you to judge this universe unchallenged." He hurled his staff like a spear. It pierced the void sphere and detonated in a cascade of primal light. The blackness recoiled violently, contracting inward as cosmic fire spread through its structure. For the first time, the golden eye shifted, not in anger, in calculation. Goku felt the pressure lessen slightly, just enough. He sucked in air, closed his eyes, not forcing power, letting it flow. Ultra instinct flickered weakly. The golden eye reacted instantly, pressure doubling. Goku screamed as invisible weight crushed him again, aura snapping out. Clark lunged toward him, but was intercepted mid-flight by the void being. They collided with a thunderclap that rippled across Earth's magnetic field. Superman's fist connected cleanly this time, shattering part of the entity's chest into drifting shards of anti-light. The entity regenerated instantly, but slower. Clark saw it. "They're not invincible." The void being's voice glitched briefly, deviation accelerating. Highfather resummoned his staff to hand, breathing heavier now. "This is not merely about him," he said, eyes on Goku. "It is about what he represents." Bruce's voice cut in. "Which is?" Highfather's gaze hardened. "Unbounded escalation." Goku's power had no ceiling, and this universe had rules. The golden eye expanded, filling half the visible sky beyond orbit. "You are a contagion." Goku's head snapped up. Something inside him clicked. Not rage, understanding. "You're scared," he said softly. The eye froze. "You think I'll break your universe?" Silence. Even the void being paused. Goku exhaled slowly. "You're probably right." Clark turned sharply.
"Goku!" "I don't know your rules," Goku continued, voice calm despite the crushing pressure. "But where I come from, we break limits." His fists clenched. Aura igniting again, this time not gold, not silver. Something deeper. Red lightning crackled across his skin. The golden eye pulsed violently. "Escalation beyond permitted tier." Highfather's eyes widened. "No! Saiyan, do not force it!" But Goku roared. Energy exploded outward in a shockwave that shattered the invisible gravity field around him. Red aura engulfed his body, dense, violent, primal. Super Saiyan God energy. The void sphere destabilized momentarily as raw divine ki collided with its structure. The golden eye flickered. Clark shielded himself from the blast wave, eyes wide. He's pushing through the override. The void being lunged at Goku. But Goku vanished in a crimson flash. He reappeared behind the entity and drove a punch straight through its core. This time, the entity did not immediately regenerate. Cracks of red divine energy spiderwebbed through its frame. The deletion sphere faltered. Earth's atmosphere stabilized. Highfather seized the opening. All batteries, fire! The warship unleashed everything. Divine cannon, cosmic lances, sigils of the source tearing through the void sphere from multiple vectors. The golden eye narrowed sharply. Containment compromised. Goku charged again, red aura blazing like a newborn sun. He and the void being collided in a sphere of collapsing gravity and divine fire. Each strike tore spatial fabric. Each shockwave reached Earth as auroras of unnatural color. Clark joined him mid-battle, red heat vision, and fists reinforcing every opening Goku created. For a moment, they were winning. The void sphere shrank. The entity fractured further. The golden eye dimmed slightly. Then, it changed strategy. The eye split, becoming two. One remained fixed on Goku. The other turned toward Earth. Bruce's voice dropped to a whisper. No. A second void sphere began forming directly above the planet's surface. Smaller, faster. No warship between it and the atmosphere. Clark saw it instantly. Goku! Goku turned mid-strike, and the void being used the distraction. A blade of absolute absence pierced through Goku's side. Time seemed to stop. Red aura flickered violently. Blood drifted in zero gravity. Clark roared and obliterated the entity's head with a full-force punch. It exploded into fragments, but the second sphere continued forming. The golden eye pulsed triumphantly. Primary deletion redirected. Goku clutched his wound, breathing ragged. Below them, clouds began evaporating over the Pacific Ocean, a circular patch of sky turning black. Billions of lives directly beneath it. Clark's face hardened into something unbreakable. Highfather's ship was too far. Hal's ring was nearly drained. Batman whispered into comms. Clark, we can't stop both. Superman looked at Goku. Goku looked back. No jokes, no smiles. Just understanding. The black circle over Earth expanded rapidly. Continents trembled. And far away, on Apocalypse Sea, Darkseid rose from his throne, smiling wider than ever. Cut to black. The Pacific Ocean turned black. Not like night, not like storm clouds. It became absence. A perfect circular void, stretching hundreds of miles across open water, swallowing sunlight, distorting horizon lines. Cargo ships within its perimeter simply flattened, reduced to silent silhouettes before blinking out. Satellites above it vanished one by one. Across the globe, every screen filled with static. In orbit, Superman didn't hesitate. He shot toward Earth in a streak of red fury. Clark, Hal's voice broke over comms. You can't stop that alone. But Clark was already breaking atmosphere, cape igniting as friction tore fire across his silhouette. Above, the golden eye tracked him but didn't interfere. It was watching Goku. Goku floated in orbit, one hand pressed to the wound in his side. Divine red aura flickered unstable around him. Blood drifted like rubies in vacuum. The void being's shattered fragments were already reforming, and the second deletion sphere continued expanding over Earth. Highfather's warship tried to reorient, but distance was killing response time. Primary objective shifting, the omnipresent voice intoned. Planetary correction prioritized. Goku's breathing steadied. He stared down at the growing void. He could feel the fear rising from the planet below. Billions of heartbeats spiking in terror, cities scrambling, sirens wailing. He thought of his Earth, of Chi-Chi, of Gohan, of friends laughing around food. Different universe, same sky. He lowered his hand from his wound. It healed slowly, Scion biology fighting to keep up. He exhaled. Okay. The red aura around him intensified it, then compressed, condensed into something tighter, sharper, not explosive rage, focused divinity. He vanished. Superman slammed into the edge of the void sphere over the Pacific. It felt like punching nothing and everything. His fist sank into the blackness up to the wrist before stalling, molecular structure screaming under impossible strain. He roared and pushed harder. The void resisted like a cosmic immune wall. Below him, ocean water was already evaporating along the sphere's boundary. The curvature of Earth bent unnaturally. Clark felt something he rarely felt. Helplessness. The golden eye above pulsed once. The void sphere expanded faster. Then, a red streak tore through the sky and stopped beside him. Goku. Aura blazing crimson and gold intertwined. You okay? Goku asked casually. Clark didn't look at him. If that reaches critical mass. Yeah. Goku cracked his neck lightly. We break it. Clark's eyes narrowed. We don't know if breaking it detonates the planet. Goku grinned faintly. Then we don't break it the wrong way. Before Clark could question that, Goku placed both palms against the void sphere. Closed his eyes. The golden eye in orbit reacted instantly. Unauthorized escalation. The void being, half reformed, lunged toward Earth to intercept. But Highfather's ship rammed it mid-flight, divine shields colliding with anti-light in a blinding explosion that lit the upper atmosphere. Goku focused. He didn't try to overpower the sphere. He listened. The blackness wasn't chaotic. It was structured, layered equations, cosmic logic woven into deletion protocols. Goku's brow furrowed. Oh. Clark glanced sideways, straining against the sphere. A what? It's not deleting randomly. No kidding? Goku's aura shifted subtly, less violent now, more precise. It's folding space inward, like compressing a pocket dimension. Clark processed that instantly. So it's not destroying matter. It's relocating it. The golden eye pulsed sharply. Analysis breach detected. Goku smirked. Gotcha. He drew one hand back, energy forming not as a massive blast, but as a dense, spinning orb of controlled divine ki. Not a Kamehameha. Smaller, sharper. He slammed it into a specific point along the void sphere's surface. Not the center. An edge seam. The sphere rippled violently. A fracture line appeared, thin as glass cracking under pressure. Clark's eyes widened. You found its anchor? Goku nodded. Every technique has one. He powered up further, red lightning snapping outward as he pushed divine energy into that fracture. The golden eye brightened dangerously. Containment destabilizing. The void sphere began oscillating. Ocean water roared back violently along its boundary. Clark shifted position instantly, using his body as a stabilizing counterforce, freezing surging tidal waves with breath colder than interstellar space. Do it now, Clark shouted. Goku inhaled deeply. His aura flared one last time. Ka? The golden eye fled blinding gold. Gravity inverted again. But Goku had anticipated it. He adjusted mid-charge. Me. The void sphere attempted to phase shift. Goku altered frequency. Ha! Reality trembled. Clark braced himself. Me. The golden eye shrieked, not in sound, but in presence. Ha! The crimson-blue beam exploded forward, not wide,
but concentrated into a piercing lance that struck the fracture seam precisely. For one eternal second, everything froze. Then the void sphere shattered like black glass, not outward, inward, collapsing into itself in a spiraling implosion of inverted light. Ocean water crashed back into reality in a titanic wave, but Clark caught it, muscles screaming as he redirected millions of tons of water back into the Pacific basin. The sky cleared. Sunlight returned. Goku hovered, panting heavily. In orbit, the golden eye flickered erratically. The void being, locked in combat with Highfather, froze mid-strike. "Primary deletion failure," it announced. Highfather didn't hesitate. He drove his staff straight through the entity's chest. Divine energy erupted, tearing the void being apart completely this time, shards scattering like dying stars. The golden eye contracted sharply. Silence fell across space. Goku looked up at it. Sweat rolled down his face. "You're not going to stop, are you?" The eye stared back. Then, it spoke differently this time. Not mechanical, not detached. Curious. "You adapt beyond acceptable parameters." Goku wiped blood from his lip and grinned faintly. "Yeah, that's kinda my thing." Clark rose to stand beside him again, shoulder healing slowly. "You threaten this world?" The golden eye dimmed slightly. "This universe strains under anomaly weight. Continued escalation will result in systemic collapse." Batman's voice returned over comms, calmer now. "Define collapse." The eye paused, then projected something into open space. A vision. Earth splitting along dimensional fault lines. Stars going dark. Darkseid standing atop ruins. And at the center, Goku, power expanding endlessly, tearing the fabric of this universe apart. Clark felt a chill. Goku stared at the vision quietly, then chuckled softly. "That's only if I lose control." The eye focused intensely on him. Probability of restraint, statistically insignificant. Goku's smile widened. "Then I'll just prove you wrong." Silence. Long. Tense. Finally, the golden eye began to withdraw. The rift sealing slowly. "Observation phase initiated," it declared. "Deviation permitted. Temporarily." Highfather exhaled deeply as the last fragments of void energy dissipated. The sky returned to normal. Stars reappeared. Earth stabilized. In distant space, Darkseid stopped smiling. Back over the Pacific, Goku's red aura finally faded. He dropped slightly in the air before Clark caught him by the shoulder. "You pushed too far," Clark said quietly. Goku laughed weakly. "Heh, not far enough." Clark looked down at Earth, then back at Goku. "This isn't over." Goku followed his gaze into the cosmos. Somewhere beyond sight, he could still feel it, watching, calculating, and learning, far away, in a realm outside time. The golden eye fully opened for the first time, and surrounding it, countless others began to awaken. Cut to black. Earth didn't celebrate. It recovered. The Pacific still churned violently where the void sphere had collapsed. Coastlines trembled from delayed shockwaves. Satellites rebooted in orbit. Emergency broadcasts looped across every continent. But the sky was blue again. And that alone felt like a miracle. High above the planet, inside the partially damaged Watchtower, the core members of the Justice League gathered in tense silence. Holographic projections floated between them, replaying footage of the golden eye, the void sphere, Goku's energy spike. Batman stood with arms folded, cowl lenses reflecting data streams. It retreated because it's studying him. Across from him, Wonder Woman rested her hands on the hilt of her sword. Then it will return stronger. The Flash stopped pacing for once. "Okay, but how strong does stronger even mean?" because that thing was already rewriting physics. At the center of the room, Goku sat cross-legged on the metallic floor, munching casually on a protein bar Hal had reluctantly provided. "It wasn't trying to fight me," Goku said between bites. All eyes turned toward him. It was testing limits. Superman stood near the viewport, silent, cape hanging heavy. "It showed us a future." Goku nodded. "Yeah, a bad one." Bruce's voice sharpened. "You recognize the projection." Goku swallowed and wiped his mouth. "Where I come from, power keeps going up. Every time someone stronger shows up, we break through to the next level." His smile faded slightly. "But here, it feels different." Diana stepped closer.
Different how? Goku looked at his hands. "When I powered up earlier, it wasn't just my body reacting. The air felt like it was cracking, like the universe didn't have room for it." Silence pressed in. Bruce activated another projection, cosmic stress graphs spiking each time Goku's energy escalated. "He's right," Bruce admitted. "Every transformation he used created dimensional strain, minor at first, catastrophic at higher thresholds." Flash blinked. "So you're saying if he goes full, whatever that was, we might pop like a balloon?" Bruce didn't sugarcoat it. "Yes." Goku rubbed the back of his head sheepishly. "Oops." Clark finally turned around. "No," Superman said firmly. "You saved billions of lives." "And nearly destabilized trillions more," Bruce countered. The tension in the room thickened. Before it could escalate, the alarms changed tone again. Deep, planetary. Hal's ring lit up violently. "Massive energy surge detected. Origin point. Apocalypse." The screen shifted instantly to a hellish world of fire pits and molten rivers. On a black stone balcony overlooking planetary devastation stood Darkseid, arms folded behind his back, eyes burning. Behind him, legions of parademons filled the skies like living storm clouds. "He's mobilizing," Diana said coldly. Bruce zoomed the feed tighter. Darkseid wasn't looking at Earth. He was looking upward, into space, as if addressing something unseen. A boom tube ripped open above him. But this one was different, not the usual fiery orange. It shimmered with faint gold edges. Darkseid bowed his head slightly, not submissive, acknowledging. Goku felt it instantly. "That eye!" Superman stiffened. "It's communicating with him." On Apocalypse, Darkseid's voice echoed across the void. "You fear his potential." The golden presence responded, not with words, but with a pulse of vast energy that rippled across space. Darkseid continued, "I do not fear it, I seek it." The boom tube expanded, and from within it, a fragment of void descended, smaller than before, condensed, focused. It hovered before Darkseid like a black star. Bruce's eyes widened. It's giving him something. Goku stood up slowly. "That's bad." Darkseid extended his hand. The void fragment merged with him. For a heartbeat, nothing happened. Then Darkseid screamed, not in pain, in transformation. Omega energy erupted from his eyes in violent spirals. His armor cracked apart and reformed, veins of anti-light weaving through the stone-like surface. The ground of Apocalypse split open beneath him as gravitational pressure increased tenfold. Parademons disintegrated simply from proximity. Darkseid rose into the air, changed. His presence now carried that same cold indifference as the void being. "Adaptive enhancement complete," the golden voice intoned. Clark clenched his fists. "They're merging correction with conquest." Bruce's jaw tightened. The universe just weaponized Darkseid. On Apocalypse, Darkseid flexed his hand. Reality bent. He fired Omega beams upward. This time, they didn't curve. They sliced straight through a distant star. The star imploded silently. Flash swallowed. Okay, that's new. Goku's grin slowly returned. But it wasn't playful. Finally, Clark shot him a look. This isn't a tournament. I know, Goku said quietly. That's why I have to fight him. Diana stepped forward. You are not alone. Goku looked around the room at heroes who had just watched their universe nearly erased. He nodded once. Good. Suddenly, a boom tube tore open inside the Watchtower. No warning, no build-up. Darkseid stepped through alone, transformed armor glowing with void-infused Omega energy. The temperature dropped instantly. Alarms screamed. Howl's ring flared. Superman was already moving. Darkseid raised one hand calmly, and gravity crushed the entire chamber. Everyone slammed to the floor, except Goku. He remained standing, barely, muscles trembling. Darkseid's eyes locked onto him. I have been granted evolution. His voice echoed with dual tones now, his own, and the golden presence layered beneath it. You are the catalyst. Goku wiped blood from his lip. Yeah, you look stronger. Darkseid's lips curved faintly. I am inevitable. Clark pushed himself up against crushing force, eyes blazing red. Not today. Darkseid moved first. Faster than before. He and Superman collided mid-chamber in a detonation that tore half the Watchtower apart. The battle had begun. And this time, the universe itself was watching. Cut to black. The Watchtower broke like glass in orbit. Metal screamed. Gravity failed. Atmosphere vented into the endless black as two gods collided at relativistic speed inside what had once been the command deck. Superman's fist connected with Darkseid's jaw, hard enough to fracture moons. Darkseid didn't budge. He caught Clark's wrist mid-swing and squeezed. Bone cracked. Clark's scream was swallowed by vacuum as the outer hull ruptured completely, debris scattering into orbit like shrapnel from a dying star. Inside the collapsing structure, Goku planted his feet against the distortion field, crushing the chamber. His muscles trembled, but his grin widened. Oh, now we're talking. Darkseid released Superman and backhanded him through 3 reinforced bulkheads, sending him hurtling toward Earth like a falling meteor. Diana lunged with her blade, golden lasso blazing in her other hand. Her sword struck Darkseid's neck. This time, it didn't phase. It sparked. Void-infused Omega veins flared across his armor as he grabbed her by the throat and hurled her into open space. Hal constructed a planetary-scale hammer of pure emerald will and brought it down on Darkseid's head. The construct shattered instantly. Darkseid's eyes flared. New Omega beams erupted, thicker, darker, laced with geometric void patterns. Hal barely redirected them before they sliced through what remained of the Watchtower, splitting it in half. Flash reappeared in a red lightning streak, evacuating surviving crew at impossible speeds. Guys, I'm officially voting retreat. No retreat. Bruce's voice crackled through damaged comms as he stabilized himself with magnetic boots against debris. We contain him here or Earth pays. Goku exhaled slowly. The crushing gravity intensified Darkseid's passive aura, bending space around him like a singularity. Darkseid turned, looked directly at Goku. You feel it, don't you? Goku tilted his head slightly. The ceiling. A pulse of energy rippled outward from Darkseid's body. Stars in the near sector flickered. The universe bends for me now, Darkseid continued. It will not bend for you. Goku's aura flared gold instantly. Super Saiyan. The shockwave blew remaining Watchtower debris outward in a fiery halo. Guess we'll see. He vanished. Appeared directly in front of Darkseid. Punch.
The impact detonated brighter than the sun. Darkseid's head snapped slightly to the side, then returned forward. He countered with a single palm strike to Goku's chest. The force sent Goku crashing through orbit, slamming into the moon hard enough to split a crater across its surface. On Earth, telescopes recorded the explosion. Across continents, people watched a new star flare against lunar rock. Goku lay embedded in stone for half a second, then laughed. "Oh man, oh, that hurt!" He exploded outward in golden fury, rock vaporizing around him as he launched back toward orbit faster than light. Meanwhile, Superman re-entered orbit at maximum velocity, blood drying against his skin as solar radiation fueled his cells. He intercepted Darkseid mid-space, wrapping both arms around him and driving him away from Earth in a blinding red streak. They smashed through a satellite cluster, then through an asteroid belt beyond lunar range. Clark hammered him repeatedly, each blow fueled by desperation. "You will not touch my world." Darkseid endured it, then whispered, "Your world belongs to entropy." He unleashed a point-blank Omega eruption. Clark screamed as void-infused energy tore through him, sending him spiraling lifelessly toward deep space. Before Darkseid could follow, Goku arrived, golden aura blazing like a second sun. He drove a knee into Darkseid's ribs with such force that the shockwave rippled across the asteroid field, pulverizing rock into dust. Darkseid actually staggered. Goku didn't stop. A barrage of punches, each one bending space-time, rained down in a relentless storm. Darkseid blocked some, endured others. Cracks formed along his void-infused armor. "You escalate predictably," Darkseid growled. Goku smirked. "Then predict this." His aura shifted. Gold faded. Red ignited. Super Saiyan God. Heat distorted space around him, divine ki rolling outward in controlled waves. He struck again. This time, Darkseid flew through multiple asteroids, detonating them like fireworks across space. Goku chased. Red streak versus black void. They collided again near Jupiter's orbit, shockwaves igniting temporary auroras across the gas giant's surface. Darkseid retaliated with upgraded Omega beams. These weren't beams anymore. They were equations. They twisted mid-flight, splitting into fractal paths designed to corner Goku from impossible angles. But Goku moved differently now. Ultra instinct flickered beneath the red aura, micro-adjustments, perfect dodges. He weaved through the beams, each near miss, carving planetary-scale scars through nearby moons. He closed distance. Palm strike to Darkseid's chest. The impact cracked the void infusion directly. For the first time, Darkseid grunted in pain. On Earth, Batman tracked every energy spike. "They're pushing further from the planet," Bruce muttered. "Good." Hal hovered beside him, ring trembling. "That's not good. Readings are spiking again." Bruce looked closer. Each time Goku shifted between divine and instinctive states, reality strain followed. Hairline fractures in dimensional fabric. The golden presence beyond space brightened. Observing, learning, back near Jupiter. Darkseid caught Goku's wrist mid-strike. His grip tightened impossibly. "You are magnificent." Goku blinked. Thanks." "And therefore, necessary." Darkseid's free hand plunged forward, piercing straight through Goku's abdomen. Silence. Red aura flickered violently. Blood drifted in slow arcs. Darkseid leaned closer. "The universe requires balance." He unleashed a void pulse directly into Goku's core. Goku's scream echoed across vacuum through sheer energy vibration. His divine aura destabilized. Darkseid ripped his hand free and backhanded Goku toward Jupiter's gravity well. Goku tumbled, consciousness fading. Far away, Superman regained awareness in deep space. He saw it, felt it, and roared as he rocketed back towards the battlefield. Near Jupiter, Goku stabilized himself barely above the planet's crushing storms, his breathing ragged, vision blurry. He tried to power up. Nothing stable responded. Darkseid descended slowly toward him, void armor pulsing brighter than ever. "Even your evolution has limits," Darkseid said calmly. Above them, space split again. The golden eye reappeared. Watching closely, Goku looked up at it. Then back at Darkseid. His smile returned, faint. "You still don't get it." Darkseid paused. Goku clenched his fists weakly. "Limits are kind of my thing." His heartbeat slowed.
Centered, not forcing power, not chasing transformation, letting go. The storm clouds of Jupiter parted as something else began to rise from within him. Not gold, not red.
Not silver. Something deeper. Calmer. The golden eye fired violently. Unregistered state detected. Darkseid's expression hardened. For the first time, uncertainty flickered in his gaze. Energy pulsed outward from Goku in a silent wave. The storms below stilled. Jupiter's lightning froze mid-strike. Darkseid stepped back slightly. "What are you becoming?" Goku opened his eyes.
They weren't silver, or they weren't red, or they were clear, empty, and terrifyingly focused. Cut to black. Jupiter went silent. Not quiet. Silent. Storms that had raged for centuries froze mid-spiral. Lightning bolts hung suspended like jagged sculptures of light. Even the planet's massive gravitational pull seemed paused. Darkseid hovered above the gas giant's cloud tops, void-infused armor flickering as if struggling to interpret what it was seeing. Goku floated opposite him. No roaring aura, no flaring light, just a faint, almost invisible distortion around his body, like heat rising off pavement. His breathing was steady, his eyes clear. The golden presence beyond space pulsed violently. Unregistered state escalating. Darkseid narrowed his eyes. "You are not transformed." Goku tilted his head slightly. "Not really." He took a step forward in midair and vanished. Darkseid's enhanced perception tracked light years in microseconds. It saw nothing. Then, impact. A single finger strike tapped the center of Darkseid's chest. Not hard, not explosive, but the void-infused armor cracked outward in a perfect circle from that point, like glass meeting resonance. Darkseid staggered. Actually, staggered. Goku reappeared several meters away, still calm. "You keep powering up," Goku said softly. So I stopped. Darkseid growled, void energy flaring violently around him. "Stopped what?" "Trying." The words hung in vacuum. Darkseid roared and unleashed omega beams infused with void equations, thousands of branching fractal lances converging simultaneously from every possible angle. Goku didn't dodge. He didn't block. His body moved before thought, before intent. Each beam curved millimeters past him, slicing through frozen storm layers instead. He stepped between attacks as if walking through falling rain. The golden eye widened. Probability collapse detected. Darkseid accelerated to maximum velocity, fist swinging with force capable of splitting gas giants. Goku leaned slightly. The punch missed by a hair. Goku countered with an open palm to Darkseid's jaw. The impact detonated across Jupiter's atmosphere in a ripple visible from Earth-based telescopes. This wasn't Super Saiyan. This wasn't Ultra Instinct as before. This was something quieter, perfected. Darkseid retaliated with a gravity crush strong enough to compress stars. Space folded inward around Goku, but Goku stepped outside the fold. Not teleportation. not speed. Positioning beyond intention. He reappeared above Darkseid and drove a downward kick into his back. Darkseid plummeted into Jupiter's upper atmosphere, vanishing into a churning vortex that suddenly resumed motion in chaotic fury. The planet roared back to life. On Earth, Batman watched the energy readings spike again. They've exceeded previous thresholds. Hal swallowed. Is that good or bad? Bruce didn't answer. Back near Jupiter, Darkseid erupted from the clouds in a column of black lightning, armor shattered in sections, void energy leaking like liquid shadow. You dare! Goku appeared inches from his face. I warned you. A flurry of blows followed, each precise, minimal, devastating. No wasted motion, no rage. Every strike landed exactly where Darkseid's regeneration lagged by microseconds. Cracks spread through the void infusion itself. Above them, the golden eye pulsed erratically. Correction failure imminent. Darkseid grabbed Goku mid-combination and hurled him into a nearby moon. The moon split in half. Dust and debris scattered across orbit. Goku rose from the explosion slowly, unharmed. Still calm. Darkseid's breathing grew heavier. You are destabilizing the gift? Goku hovered forward. Oh, I don't need gifts. Darkseid screamed and unleashed everything at once. Omega beams, void gravity, planetary scale entropy waves. The surrounding space twisted into a collapsing maelstrom. Goku closed his eyes and moved. He weaved through annihilation with effortless grace. He stepped on collapsing space like it was solid ground. He redirected Omega beams with the back of his hand. Then he appeared directly before Darkseid one final time. This ends now. He placed 2 fingers against Darkseid's chest. A soft pulse. Not explosive. Internal. Void energy flickered violently, then shattered completely. Darkseid's upgraded armor disintegrated, reverting to cracked stone. The golden eye above flared blindingly bright. Unauthorized override. Darkseid roared in fury and desperation, charging blindly. Goku sidestepped. Palm strike. Darkseid flew backward at immeasurable speed. Past Jupiter. Past Mars. Past Earth's orbit. He crashed into Apocalypse like a falling god, splitting the planet's crust in a cataclysmic explosion visible across the solar system. Silence returned. Goku hovered alone near Jupiter. His calm state flickered slightly. The golden eye descended lower into real space. Larger, angrier. You destabilize universal architecture. Goku looked up at it. I told you, I won't break your universe. You already are. The eye projected another vision. Dimensional fractures, spreading from Earth outward. Each time Goku had escalated, tiny cracks had formed. Now they were spreading faster. Even with Darkseid defeated, Goku's calm expression wavered. On Earth, Bruce saw it too. Clark, the fractures are accelerating. Superman hovered beside him in orbit, eyes fixed on the cosmic tear lines spiderwebbing faintly across space. He stopped powering up, Clark said quietly. Bruce's voice was grim. It's not about power anymore. Above Jupiter, the golden eye spoke again. You are a foreign constant in a closed system. Your mere existence increases entropy. Goku clenched his fists slowly. So what? I just leave? The eye did not answer directly. Instead, space behind Goku split open. Not violently, cleanly. A portal on the other side. He saw it. His Earth. His sky. Familiar? Home. The message was clear. Return. Goku stared at the portal, then back at the fractured space around this universe. Below him, Jupiter's storms raged again. Far away, Apocalypse burned from Darkseid's impact. And on Earth, billions lived, safe for now. Superman's voice reached him through comm frequencies. You don't owe us anything. Goku smiled faintly. I kinda do. The golden eye brightened impatiently. Decision required. Goku looked at the portal again, then at Earth in the distance, then at the cracks spreading faintly between stars. For the first time since arriving, he hesitated, and far beyond sight, multiple golden eyes began opening across the multiversal horizon. Waiting, cut to black. The portal shimmered behind Goku. Soft, familiar, home. Through it he could see blue skies he recognized, the faint outline of mountains, the scent of earth he knew, even across dimensions, lingered in the air like memory. But in front of him, this earth rotated slowly, scarred clouds over the Pacific. Apocalypse burning in the distance like a dying ember. And between the stars, fractures, thin at first glance, but spreading. The golden eye hovered above Jupiter like a silent judge. Foreign constant must exit closed system. Goku stared at the cracks again. They pulsed faintly every time his heart did. It wasn't about power anymore. It was about presence. On Earth, inside the partially rebuilt Watchtower, Batman ran simulations at maximum speed. Fractures are accelerating logarithmically, Bruce said coldly. Even if he powers down completely, the stress residue remains. Superman hovered in orbit, listening, eyes locked on Goku's distant silhouette. Is there a stabilization point? There isn't one, Bruce replied. He's like introducing an infinite variable into a finite equation. Clark's jaw tightened. Near Jupiter, Goku exhaled slowly. So if I stay, it breaks? Yes. The golden eye pulsed. And if I leave, system stabilizes. Goku scratched the back of his head lightly. That's simple then. But his gaze drifted again to Earth. He could feel the people below. The fear from earlier hadn't fully faded. The cracks in space weren't the only thing spreading. Darkseid was not done. On Apocalypse, deep within the molten ruins of his own impact crater, Darkseid stirred. Stone armor shattered. Void infusion gone, but not defeated. He rose slowly from magma. His eyes burned, not void black now, but deeper red than ever. You chose him over me. Darkseid growled into empty space. Above, the golden presence ignored him. Darkseid's fists clenched. If the universe fears him, then I will become what it fears more. Back near Jupiter, Goku turned fully toward the portal. His body relaxed. Decision made. I'll go. On Earth, Clark closed his eyes briefly. Relief mixed with something heavier. Goku smiled softly. You guys are strong. You'll be fine. The golden eye dimmed slightly. Correction accepted. The fractures between stars began slowing. Barely. Goku stepped toward the portal. Then he stopped. A pulse of energy rippled outward from Earth. Dark. Oppressive. Not void. Not cosmic correction. Something older. Clark's eyes snapped open. I feel that. Bruce's monitors exploded with warning symbols. Energy spike on Apocalypse, Bruce said sharply. But it's not residual void. It's... He froze. No. On Apocalypse, Darkseid stood within a newly formed chasm carved into the planet's core. In his hands, a glowing lattice of symbols older than gods. Words that burned reality just by existing. The anti-life equation. Darkseid laughed softly. You correct imbalance through erasure, he whispered. I correct it through submission. He pressed the equation into his own chest. It fused. Reality screamed. Across the universe, every sentient mind flickered. Fear surged without cause. Despair whispered into thoughts. On Earth, millions clutched their heads simultaneously. Clark staggered mid-flight. Diana fell to one knee.
Hal's ring dimmed. Goku felt it too. A pressure, not physical. Existential. The golden eye reacted instantly. Unauthorized existential override detected. Darkseid rose from apocalypse engulfed in black fire. But this fire wasn't void. It was will. Control. Domination. He opened his eyes and spoke a single word. Across planets, entire populations froze mid-motion. Their thoughts silenced. Their wills bending. The anti-life equations spread like invisible chains across consciousness itself. On Earth, Bruce's voice trembled for the first time. He's rewriting free will. Clark gritted his teeth, fighting the creeping mental pressure clawing at his mind. Can he reach beyond his universe? Hal asked weakly. Bruce checked readings, then looked up slowly. He already has. Near Jupiter, Goku's calm expression hardened. You said if I leave, it stabilizes. Yes, the golden eye answered. Does that include him? Silence. The eye pulsed once. Darkseid is native constant. Goku's jaw tightened. So your rules protect him. He does not threaten structural fabric. You do. Darkseid's voice suddenly echoed across space itself. Foreign warrior. Goku turned. Darkseid stood in orbit above Earth now, surrounded by spiraling glyphs of anti-life energy. His presence distorted minds across the solar system. Even the golden eye flickered faintly under the equation's influence. You would abandon this world, Darkseid called out. Leave it to my dominion. Goku glanced at the portal again. Home. Safe. No fractures. No cosmic judges. Then, at Earth. Clark struggling against mental domination. Diana forcing herself upright through sheer will. Bruce gripping the console as invisible chains clawed at his thoughts. Goku smiled faintly. Ha. The golden eye pulsed urgently. Departure required immediately. Goku stepped away from the portal. Sorry. The portal flickered. You choose systemic collapse? Goku cracked his knuckles. I choose a fair fight. Darkseid descended closer to Earth's atmosphere, anti-life glyphs spreading like black sunspots across continents. Submit, Darkseid commanded. Entire cities dropped to their knees. Clark roared and flew at him, breaking through waves of mental suppression with raw determination. They collided mid-atmosphere, shockwaves shattering cloud formations worldwide. Goku vanished from Jupiter, reappeared between them. Darkseid sneered. You remain. Goku nodded. Yeah. His calm state returned, but now something else layered beneath it. Resolve, not escalation. Choice. The golden eyes above flickered violently. Fractures between stars widened again. Catastrophic threshold approaching. Bruce's voice cut through static. Clark, if he powers up again. I know! Clark shouted back, struggling against Darkseid's crushing anti-life aura. Darkseid unleashed omega beams infused with the equation itself. Goku stepped forward and caught them, bare-handed. The beams bent around his palms like liquid. Darkseid's eyes widened. Goku's aura began to rise. Not explosive, not divine red, not silver. Something balanced. The cracks between stars surged brighter. The golden eye multiplied again beyond sight. Watching, calculating, preparing. Goku looked at Darkseid, then at the fractures in space, then at the countless golden eyes awakening across the cosmic horizon. His smile faded completely. This is gonna get complicated, Darkseid roared. The anti-life equation flared to full power, and the universe trembled, cut to black. Space itself groaned. Every planet, every orbiting satellite, every drifting asteroid vibrated under the combined weight of two cosmic forces. Darkseid hovered above Earth, the anti-life equation pulsing across his chest, like a beating black sun. Cities below buckled under the invisible grip of his will. Millions of people froze mid-motion, their thoughts choked by invisible chains, their wills bending to his command. Goku hovered a few kilometers above the planet, aura flickering, not gold, not red, but a strange, tempered blue. His muscles weren't tensed, his breathing wasn't rushed, it was deliberate, focused, calm. He could feel every pulse of Darkseid's power, every tendril of anti-life energy crawling through the atmosphere, every strain of cosmic tension stretching across the stars. "Your grip," Goku murmured, voice low but audible even across the vacuum. "It's strong, but it's sloppy." Darkseid turned slowly, void fire crackling around him. His voice rumbled, echoing across the world, across oceans, across mountains. "You are the anomaly. I will not allow it." Goku's lips curved into a small, faint smile. "You're about to find out why I don't follow rules." Without warning, the Saiyan vanished. In a blink, he reappeared behind Darkseid. He didn't punch. He didn't throw energy. He simply touched the back of Darkseid's armor with one hand. Nothing happened. Then everything happened. A ripple of energy tore outward from Goku, not explosive, but penetrating. Reality itself shivered. The anti-life glyphs began to flicker, tiny fractures running through them. Darkseid's eyes narrowed, the first sign of surprise he had shown in millennia. "You," Darkseid growled, but his voice faltered. Goku's aura expanded slowly now. The faint blue glow deepened, layering gold and crimson sparks in microbursts of controlled energy. "You think because you have the anti-life equation you own willpower. You don't. You just borrowed it." Darkseid lunged, unleashing omega beams infused with anti-life energy directly at Goku. But Goku didn't dodge. He rotated his body in mid-air, not deflecting, not evading. He absorbed. The energy met his palms and melted into his aura like water flowing into a river. The power flared across his skin, but he didn't scream, didn't even flinch. A low hum began to fill space, vibrations that shouldn't exist. Planets, moons, and satellites resonated with the hum. Even the stars seemed to pulse slightly in time. The golden eye followed violently. It projected a surge of light, attempting to stabilize the fractures in space caused by Goku's presence, but he didn't resist or fight it. He harmonized. "Your rules," he said softly, "aren't my rules." Suddenly, Goku's aura erupted outward in all directions. The energy wasn't destructive, it was corrective. It wrapped around the fractures in space like a living weave, filling the cracks and restitching reality. Stars aligned faintly along the repaired space-time, light traveling smoothly again. Darkseid's eyes widened and he roared in fury. The anti-life equation tried to react, spreading its will, but Goku's energy acted like a countercurrent. The equation flickered and twisted, struggling to maintain dominance. "Impossible," Darkseid bellowed. "I am inevitable. I am the ultimate." Goku floated forward, calm and centered. "Maybe, but even inevitability has to deal with someone who refuses to stop." He didn't punch, he didn't strike, he simply extended his aura, allowing it to wash over Darkseid. For the first time in eons, the anti-life chains binding humanity flickered, then shattered completely. People everywhere gasped, snapped upright, minds cleared. Fear turned to awe as they felt the invisible pressure lift. Earth's atmosphere seemed to breathe again, gravity normalized, oceans stilled, cities no longer trembled. Darkseid staggered, anti-life energy pulsing wildly, destabilized by Goku's calm force. His own power, amplified by the golden eye, now worked against him. The golden eye in orbit pulsed with massive intensity. Systemic correction and approaching threshold. Risk catastrophic. Goku tilted his head. You're scared now. Darkseid roared, void fire ripping outward, tearing chunks of space into raw absence, but each strike he threw was absorbed, redirected, or nullified by Goku's aura. Planets shuddered at the reverberations, but the fractures didn't spread. They healed. Your strength, Darkseid whispered, trembling slightly. Your defiance. It bends the rules themselves. Goku clenched his fists gently. He wasn't angry, he was resolute. And bending the rules is kind of my thing. Suddenly a massive ripple tore across the sky. Multiple golden eyes, countless this time, erupted across the cosmos, all converging toward Goku. He exhaled calmly. Okay, now it's getting interesting. Darkseid gritted his teeth. Do you know what you're facing? Goku smirked. I'll find out. He powered up again, not raw strength, not super saiyan. This was something deeper, a balance, a perfect harmony of divine ki, instinct, and sheer will. His aura expanded outward, larger than any planetary scale before, touching Earth, Mars, Jupiter, even distant asteroids. The golden eyes reacted violently, unable to fully judge or suppress him. And for the first time Darkseid hesitated. Even he, the god of apocalypse, recognized the anomaly. Goku's calm voice cut through the hum of the cosmos. This isn't about destroying, this isn't about winning, this is about protecting. And if I have to break the rules to do it, I will. The golden eyes pulsed. Reality shimmered. Then Goku vanished in a flash of blue and red light. Darkseid blinked. And then the universe shifted violently. Cut black. The universe screamed. Not in sound, not in vibration, but in the raw tearing of space-time, stretching beyond comprehension. Stars wavered like candle flames, nebulae bent unnaturally, galaxies shifted subtly, pulled by unseen hands, and at the center of it all Goku reappeared. He hovered above Earth, calm. His aura glowed faintly blue, almost transparent, but radiated an immense, undeniable presence. Around him the golden eyes multiplied exponentially, now spanning across the multiversal horizon like countless suns watching him. Each one pulsed in judgment and anticipation. On Earth, the Justice League watched helplessly from orbit, and the Watchtower debris orbiting nearby. Superman hovered tens of kilometers above the planet, eyes locked on Goku. His fists clenched. Clark, he's not just fighting Darkseid anymore. He's facing everything. Bruce adjusted holographic displays, face grim. Not everything. Multiple observers, cosmic regulators, interdimensional constants. They're all watching him, and every move he makes is bending universal law. That's unprecedented. Hal, floating beside them, barely breathed. So, he's breaking the rules across universes? Yes, Bruce said, voice tight. And the moment he does, it destabilizes more than just one universe. Every system linked to this multiverse registers anomaly. If he pushes too far, he swallowed. Catastrophe. Below, Goku's calm figure suddenly flared, as his body seemed to synchronize with the entire planet. Energy rolled outward like waves across the atmosphere, resonating with the fractures in space-time. It wasn't chaotic, it was precise, perfectly measured. Darkseid appeared above Earth again, anti-life glyphs now orbiting him like a crown of black fire. "You interfere with my dominion," he roared. His voice resonated in every mind within a solar system radius. "You will submit." Goku tilted his head. "I'm not submitting, not to you, not to them." He glanced subtly at the golden eyes, which pulsed erratically. I'll do this my way. With that, Goku's aura exploded, not outward, but inward. The space immediately surrounding him began folding, compressing reality like a tightening coil. The air itself seemed to resist, shimmering, vibrating, struggling to maintain its natural laws. Darkseid struck first. He hurled a concentrated Omega beam infused with anti-life energy directly at Goku. But the Saiyan didn't dodge. His aura flared faintly, and the beam slowed, bending around him like it hit an invisible barrier. His palms emitted subtle pulses, absorbing and neutralizing the attack without even breaking his calm. The golden eyes flared violently. They tried to intervene, focusing correctional energy, but Goku's presence now harmonized with every fracture and surge. Instead of resisting him, the golden eyes were being forced to adjust, to react to him. From orbit, Superman gasped. He's controlling the multiversal feedback by himself? Yes, Bruce said flatly.
He's bending the cosmic regulators, not through raw force, but through resonance. That level of control... He trailed off. It's beyond godhood. Darkseid's eyes flared a deeper crimson. You are not permitted to exist in this state, he charged, smashing through the upper atmosphere. Every strike tore open fissures in reality. Hurricanes formed instantly below. Tectonic plates groaned under sudden pressure. Lightning erupted like the sky itself was being torn in half. Goku didn't move yet. He waited. He felt every shift, every distortion. Then, in a blink, he vanished. Darkseid swung and the strike met only air. Goku reappeared behind him. One hand pressed lightly against the anti-life glyphs orbiting Darkseid. Energy rippled from his palm, not explosively, but surgically. The glyphs cracked like brittle glass under pressure. Darkseid howled in rage. Impossible! Goku's calm expression remained. You rely on fear, I rely on balance. He moved again, now striking across multiple vectors simultaneously, appearing behind, above, and in front of Darkseid in seconds. Each strike wasn't a punch, but a precise interference with Darkseid's power stream. Every energy pulse, every fractal Omega beam, every anti-life glyph faltered under Goku's resonance. The golden eyes above shone brighter. They tried to correct, to stabilize the system, to override Goku's actions. But each pulse they sent was absorbed, harmonized, and returned, bouncing back as faint shockwaves across deep space. Earth quaked. Oceans boiled briefly. Mountains shuddered. Yet below, the people felt nothing. Only the heroes saw it, the subtle pull of cosmic forces beyond comprehension. Clark, he's doing it, Bruce said quietly, voice tense. He's not just fighting Darkseid, he's neutralizing the anti-life equation on a universal scale. Superman's eyes narrowed. And the golden eyes? They can't judge him, Bruce said. He's outside their rules. If he pushes too far, they can't contain him. All the consequences will be unimaginable. Meanwhile, Darkseid roared again, surging with power from the anti-life equation, hurling planets like missiles. Each was obliterated mid-air by Goku's subtle yet absolute energy control. Goku hovered calmly, aura now glowing an ethereal blue-gold-red gradient, eyes glimmering with quiet intensity. Time to finish this my way. He clenched his fists. Reality around him vibrated visibly. The fractures, the cracks, the distortions, all resonated with his heartbeat. Then a massive ripple of energy surged outward, enveloping both Earth and Apocalypse. Stars flickered, galaxies seemed to pause. Even the golden eyes couldn't resist. It was too late. Goku had surpassed them. He had become the singular force capable of overriding not just Darkseid, but the multiversal observers themselves. Darkseid faltered, anti-life energies struggling to stabilize. What are you...
Goku's aura flared violently. The energy didn't explode, it expanded with perfect harmony, enveloping Darkseid completely. The anti-life glyphs shattered like glass, floating and disintegrating into nothing. The energy chains binding humanity vanished instantly. Minds cleared. Fear evaporated. Darkseid screamed, rage and disbelief intertwining, but he was now contained, not by force, but by Goku's controlled presence. For a moment, silence spread across the cosmos. The golden eyes pulsed erratically. Reality stuttered, and then they retracted, slowly, reluctantly. Observers unable to intervene watched in stunned anticipation. Goku floated there, calm, aura dimming, yet radiating an undeniable dominion. He glanced down at Earth, then at Apocalypse far below, and for the first time he smiled genuinely. "This universe," he murmured softly, "can breathe again." Cut to black. The universe exhaled and instantly paused. Goku hovered above Earth, aura now a soft blend of shimmering blue and gold, radiating an energy that seemed to bend space around him without tearing it. Apocalypse smoldered far below, Darkseid reduced to a trembling, fractured figure struggling to regain composure. But the golden eyes were not done. Across the multiversal horizon, countless orbs flared like suns, their presence distorting reality itself. They pulsed in perfect synchronization, a lattice of observation and correction spanning infinite dimensions. Each eye emitted waves of regulatory energy designed to stabilize and control the multiverse, to suppress anomalies like Goku. "Unauthorized variable still present," the omniversal chorus intoned simultaneously. Voices layered atop one another, neither male nor female, neither singular nor plural. Contain or eliminate. Goku's calm expression didn't falter. "I don't think I'll be taking orders today." He exhaled slowly and the energy around him shimmered, not outward, but inward, condensing like a gravitational lens in miniature. The golden eyes reacted immediately, sending pulses of correction. Space itself bent toward them, folding the cosmic grid, attempting to trap him in universal law. But Goku was already outside their logic. He moved with no motion, yet traveled through every vector at once, appearing simultaneously in multiple positions relative to the eyes. Their pulses bounced harmlessly off him, twisting and fracturing as they tried to connect. A ripple of unseen power spread across the multiverse, and yet Earth below remained untouched. Darkseid, recovered slightly, rose from the smouldering remains of his crater. His crimson eyes flared, anti-life energy flickering with desperation. "You defy even them," he growled. "You unbalance the order." Goku tilted his head. "Maybe balance isn't about obeying your rules." With that, he extended both hands outward. His aura expanded like a sun erupting in slow motion. But this expansion wasn't destructive, it was harmonizing. Reality folded into his energy, but gently. Stars aligned faintly along the corrected grid. Dimensional cracks began to shrink. The golden eyes pulsed violently, trying to resist, but every pulse he absorbed rebalanced and redirected. Across Earth, Superman and the Justice League watched in awe. Even Batman, the eternal skeptic, whispered, "He's not fighting them. He's becoming the law." Goku's eyes glimmered. Blue now, but with flickers of gold and crimson, a combination impossible to classify. He had ascended beyond the forms known in his universe, beyond Super Saiyan God, Ultra Instinct, even beyond Divine Resonance. He was a singularity of controlled energy, harmonized with space-time, able to exist both inside and outside the laws of reality. The golden eyes multiplied, trying to overwhelm him. Beams of raw corrective energy collided, folding space, attempting to collapse him into a single point. But Goku wasn't a point. He was everywhere and nowhere at once. A pulse of energy from his chest expanded, bending the golden beams around him, creating a countergrid. Each correctional pulse from the eyes now served to strengthen him, feeding into his resonance. "You cannot override us," the chorus intoned. "You threaten multiversal equilibrium." Goku smiled faintly. "Funny, I think I am the equilibrium." Darkseid screamed, attempting to use the last vestiges of anti-life energy to disrupt Goku's focus. But Goku's aura expanded further, enveloping him completely, not crushing, not burning, simply containing. Even the god of apocalypse could not resist the harmonized flow of Goku's power. The anti-life glyphs disintegrated entirely, vaporized by the sheer synchronization of his ki with the multiversal framework. The golden eyes reacted violently. They sent waves of energy so vast that galaxies themselves seemed to shiver. Time folded in microfractures across the cosmos. Every observer was recalculating, trying to anticipate Goku's next move, but the Saiyan was already beyond prediction. Goku exhaled, and a visible pulse of energy rippled outward. Each ripple was a note, a correction, a song of balance. Planets rotated smoothly. Stars burned with steady light. Dimensional rifts stitched themselves together. Even Darkseid's chaotic will faltered against the harmonious resonance. Then Goku spoke, calm, quiet, yet omnipresent. "I'm not here to fight you, I'm here to teach balance." The golden eyes pulsed again, brighter than before, and the multiverse quivered under the combined judgment of countless observers. They projected a massive prism of light, trying to enclose Goku entirely, to overwhelm his singularity. Goku's aura flared to maximum. The prism met him and failed. It fractured. Each fragment became a floating beacon of cosmic energy, spinning harmlessly around him, now synchronized with his resonance. He moved slowly through the fragments, energy rolling off him like tidal waves across an ocean. Each movement harmonized a different layer of reality. One pulse rebalanced temporal flow, another mended gravitational distortions, another stabilized dimensional boundaries. Darkseid, watching helplessly, realized the truth. His eyes widened in horror. "You are not just a warrior." Goku's calm smile was all the answer he needed. Suddenly a massive golden pulse erupted from the eyes themselves, attempting one final multiversal containment. Space around Jupiter warped violently, stars bending toward the center like water rushing down a drain. Goku closed his eyes. Time slowed. Space bent. And then, with a subtle twist of his hands, he synchronized with the pulse, not resisting, not fighting, harmonizing. The golden energy folded into his aura. The observer's final attempt to constrain him became another instrument in his symphony of resonance. A silent shockwave rippled across every dimension. Planets, stars, even the farthest reaches of unseen universes quivered, then settled. The golden eyes blinked, collectively stunned. They had been surpassed. The anomaly had become the standard. Goku opened his eyes. They glimmered with an indescribable mix of calm, determination, and infinite focus. "Balance is restored," he said softly, "for now." Darkseid fell to one knee, armor cracked, anti-life energy gone. Even the god's will was subdued, not destroyed, but neutralized by Goku's perfect harmonization of cosmic forces. Goku hovered above Earth, aura dimming slowly. The fractures between stars had begun closing entirely. The golden eyes receded beyond observation, returning to their distant positions, as if conceding for the moment. Below, the Justice League stared in awe. Superman floated in silence, eyes wide. He saved the universe. Batman's jaw was tight. He didn't just save it, he redefined it. Goku looked toward the portal, shimmering faintly behind him. His way home. He smiled faintly. Guess I've done my job here. But far beyond, countless golden eyes flickered, observing. One truth had been established. The anomaly had proven the multiverse could bend, adapt, and survive beyond even the judgment of its own regulators. The calm before the next storm settled across the cosmos. But somewhere in the dark expanses, a single red glare burned. A warning, a promise. The multiverse knew balance had been restored. For now. Cut to black. Silence stretched across the cosmos. Not the peaceful silence of rest, but the tense, pregnant silence of a universe holding its breath. Stars twinkled nervously. Planets rotated in slow, uncertain arcs. Even Apocalypse, smouldering and broken, seemed to pause, waiting. Goku hovered above Earth, aura fading gently, a soft glow of blue-gold energy rippling around him. He felt the weight of what he had done. He had harmonized not just one universe, but the multiversal constants themselves. Even the golden eyes, the omniversal observers, had acknowledged his supremacy. But the faintest echo of unease reached him. A ripple of energy, subtle but unmistakable. It came from Apocalypse. Darkseid. The god of Apocalypse was rising again, even weaker, even fractured. His red eyes glowed with a deeper intensity. The anti-life equation had been shattered, yes, but not eradicated. The will to dominate, to enforce submission, still pulsed in him. This time, though, it was different. He no longer relied solely on raw power he had learned from Goku. He would adapt. Goku's calm smile hardened. All right, last round. Darkseid surged upward in a sudden explosion of black fire and shattered debris. Every movement radiated raw authority. His voice thundered across the void, filled with unrelenting certainty. You may have harmonized the cosmos, mortal, but you will not dominate me. I am inevitable. I am the end. Goku's aura flared one final time. Not gold, not red, not blue. All three intertwined with subtle layers of white and violet, a spectrum no observer could define. His ki radiated with the quiet authority of someone who had surpassed even the rules of gods. Inevitable, huh? Goku said softly. Let's see about that. The two clashed above the planet. Not a simple fight. This was a battle of presence, of absolute force. Darkseid's fists carried the weight of a collapsing planet. Goku's movements were impossible to track, appearing everywhere at once, each strike dissolving raw power without shattering the world around him. Each blow from Darkseid bent the atmosphere, tearing wind currents into screaming spirals, generating shockwaves that rippled across Earth's crust. Goku countered each with precise ki bursts, each pulse stabilizing what would have been cataclysmic destruction. Cities below shuddered but did not fall. The anti-life energy, though shattered, pulsed faintly from Darkseid's core. He unleashed a wave that bent thought, trying to invade Goku's mind. Goku didn't resist. He absorbed it. His aura shone brighter, integrating the residual will into his own harmonized state. For a fraction of a second, he became a nexus of universal balance, mind and body synchronized with every pulse of cosmic energy. Darkseid staggered. Never before had his will been so challenged. His attacks became desperate, explosive, chaotic. Entire mountain ranges would have crumbled under the force. Yet Goku moved with calm precision. Each strike, each redirection, each harmonic pulse chipped away at Darkseid's resolve. "You cannot contain me," Darkseid roared, voice breaking through raw fury. "I'm not containing you," Goku said softly. "I'm ending the fight." Goku vanished. Darkseid swung blindly, striking only air. Then the Saiyan appeared at his core, a single palm to the chest, not crushing, not explosive, just contact. A pulse of ki rolled outward, not to destroy, but to harmonize. The anti-life energy cracked completely, fragments evaporating into the void. Darkseid let out a scream, a sound that carried across the cosmos the first true note of fear he had ever experienced. Goku's aura expanded in a subtle wave, not outward, but through him. Every fiber of Darkseid's being felt the perfect balance of energy, the inevitability of harmony overriding his chaos. He fell slowly like a giant finally acknowledging the ground beneath him. The fire and black void around him dissipated. The weight of anti-life had been neutralized, not through violence, but through resonance. Goku hovered above him, aura dimming slightly. "It's over, Darkseid, you're done." Darkseid looked up, eyes still blazing crimson, but empty now of defiance. He was defeated, not in body, but in will. He had glimpsed a power beyond domination, a force that harmonized chaos instead of trying to destroy it. Above, the golden eyes shimmered one final time. They receded slowly, acknowledging the anomaly's supremacy, not as rulers, not as judges, but as witnesses. On Earth, the Justice League exhaled collectively. Superman's voice cracked slightly. He saved everything. Again. Bruce didn't respond immediately. He only observed, calculating, learning. Even he, the eternal skeptic, could see the truth. The anomaly had not only defeated Darkseid, but had rewritten the very rules of power, balance, and reality itself. Goku turned his gaze toward the portal, faintly shimmering behind him. The way home. He smiled softly. Time to go. Before stepping through, he glanced once more at Earth. Mountains, oceans, cities, all alive and untouched. Heroes, still standing, still vigilant. He exhaled, feeling the weight of the universe settle, finally calm. And then he was gone. The portal shimmered and collapsed. The fractures between stars sealed. Apocalypse smoldered, its god subdued, its empire momentarily quiet. Above the universe, silent, watching, the golden eyes blinked once. Then, slowly, they withdrew. They had seen the anomaly, had witnessed balance imposed, not through dominance but through understanding and harmony, and they waited for the next anomaly to rise. On Earth, the Justice League gathered, looking at one another with awe. Superman looked to the sky. He's something else. Batman's eyes narrowed, calculating already. He changed everything, and the universe will never be the same again. Diana smiled faintly. And he saved it, without even trying to fight everyone at once. Hal grinned. That was insane. And somewhere, in the infinite vastness, Goku's presence lingered faintly, a whisper in the fabric of reality, a reminder that no force, no matter how absolute, could surpass balance guided by will, purpose, and heart. The universe had survived. Darkseid had been humbled. And the anomaly, the Saiyan from another world, had left his mark across the multiverse forever. Cut to black. The cosmos was quieter, not dead, not empty, but alive in a new rhythm. Stars burned steadily, planets rotated without tremor, and even Apocalypse, scarred and smoldering, radiated a muted calm. The fractures that had threatened the multiverse had sealed. The golden eyes, vast and countless, retreated beyond observation, no longer watching, no longer judging. On Earth, the Justice League gathered under a dusky sky, remnants of the chaos still faintly visible in the clouds. Superman hovered, arms crossed, jaw tight, scanning the horizon. He came, he fixed it, and he left, but how? Batman's gaze lingered on the monitors tracking the residual energy left in the upper atmosphere. He didn't just defeat Darkseid, he harmonized universal constants. He wove the multiverse into balance, and he did it without breaking a sweat. Diana stepped forward, eyes reflecting the fading aurora of Kai that lingered above Earth. I felt it, power unlike anything, yet controlled. Gentle, almost like a heartbeat that can crush or nurture worlds at the same time. Hal floated lazily, still grinning despite exhaustion. Gentle? That guy just stopped Darkseid and multiple golden eye things from destroying everything. Gentle? Nah, that was insane. Clark's eyes scanned the sky one last time, a faint smile forming. It's not just what he did, it's how he changed things. Even Darkseid, even he won't be the same. Far above, in the void beyond Earth's atmosphere, the faint afterglow of Goku's aura still lingered like a whisper, an echo of calm and purpose. Somewhere across the multiverse, the golden eyes adjusted, recalibrated, acknowledging the anomaly. They could not control him, could not fully predict him, but they could record, study, and, perhaps, prepare for the next time such a force emerged. On Apocalypse, Darkseid sat in the ruins of his throne room, the anti-life equation fully neutralized. For the first time in eons, he felt powerless. Rage burned, yes, but also awe. He had seen the impossible. A mortal, a foreign constant had rewritten the rules of existence. He stood slowly, scanning the distant stars. "This is not over," he whispered, voice deep and dangerous. "Not for me, not for them, and not for him."
On Earth, the Justice League turned to one another. Superman clenched his fists, eyes resolute. He saved the universe, and he left us a warning. Bruce's voice was quiet, calculated. The anomaly is gone, but the consequences of his presence will linger. Energy fluctuations, residual multiversal resonance, the rules have changed, and so has every power that depends on them. Diana nodded slowly. He's gone, but I feel him, watching, guiding. Hal tilted his head, still grinning. And knowing him, he'll be back if the universe needs him again. The sky darkened briefly as the aurora of Goku's ki faded completely. Then the first stars of night appeared, calm, steady, perfectly aligned. Earth breathed again. The multiverse stabilized. And somewhere, beyond the edge of comprehension, Goku looked back. He didn't speak. He didn't act. He simply existed for a moment, a calm beacon in an unpredictable cosmos. Then, like a gentle wind across mountains, he vanished, returning to his own universe. Home, safe, but changed, just like the universe he had touched. Back on Earth, Superman finally exhaled. I hope he knows he made a difference we can never repay. Batman's eyes remained sharp. Difference or not, the universe now has a variable it can never fully predict. That could be a blessing or a curse. Diana smiled softly, looking up at the stars. For now, it's peace, and we owe it to him. And somewhere in the dark reaches beyond Apocalypse, one faint red glow lingered, a warning, a reminder. Darkseid would rise again. But the universe now knew a new force, the anomaly who harmonized chaos, balanced destiny, and redefined the power of life itself. The cosmos had survived, the anomaly had passed through, and the multiverse would never forget. Cut to black.
The universe was quiet, but not still. Across countless worlds, ripples of residual energy pulsed faintly, like the aftershocks of a storm that had barely passed. Stars aligned subtly differently. Planets rotated with imperceptible shifts in gravitational pull. The multiverse itself seemed to hum, as if remembering the anomaly who had rewritten its laws. On Earth, the Justice League gathered atop the Watchtower's rebuilt spire. The city below was calm, Yet the remnants of chaos lingered, shattered streets, fires long since extinguished, and the faint echo of energy that had washed over the planet. Superman hovered slightly above, eyes scanning the horizon. It's been days, weeks maybe, and yet I feel it. Like the world's heartbeat is different. Diana folded her arms, gaze distant. He left, but his energy, it lingers, a protective pulse, subtle but constant. Hal floated lazily, smirking. Yeah, I can feel it too, not like a shield, more like a warning. Something's coming, or maybe it's just him saying, I'm watching. Bruce, always observant, tapped at a holographic display, tracing energy spikes across multiple universes. His eyes narrowed. He harmonized reality, yes, but in doing so he introduced a variable no one, not even the golden eyes, can predict. There's residual multiversal resonance everywhere. Even Darkseid's power, weakened as it is, could interact with it. A faint vibration pulsed beneath the League's feet. The sky shimmered with residual energy, a faint aurora of blues, golds, and crimson traces. Then in the distance a single point of light flared in the void above Earth, small, almost imperceptible, but growing. Clark's eyes narrowed. That energy signature. It's not him. Diana's gaze followed it. Not Goku, but it's reacting to him. Hal's ring glowed faintly, scanning. Some kind of residual trace, or another anomaly being pulled toward his energy? Bruce's expression darkened. It's more than a trace. Something or someone is sensing the multiversal imbalance he left behind. That flare could be the next domino. The light expanded rapidly, pulsing with energy that warped space around it. Even the air above Earth's atmosphere rippled, heat shimmering as if the sky itself was bending. Suddenly the flare exploded outward in a massive wave. The aurora above Earth intensified, sending ripples of residual ki across continents. Cities lit up as if the sun itself had split. The League shielded their eyes, but the light revealed something ancient. Floating amidst the aurora, a silhouette appeared, tall, imposing, and radiating energy that even Darkseid could not rival in its subtle complexity. His presence made the planet tremble faintly, yet nothing broke. Hal gasped. Holy, who's that? Diana's eyes narrowed. That power, it's old, older than Apocalypse, older than the anti-life equation, something primal. Bruce's fingers hovered over a console. Unknown origin, non-Earth. Multiversal resonance indicates it's aware of the harmonic energy left by Goku. Whatever it is, it's coming to investigate or challenge him. The silhouette stepped forward, aura flaring with crimson and violet streaks, twisting space as if bending dimensions around him. The faint outline of a weapon appeared, a staff that seemed to pierce not just reality, but the laws governing it. The League tensed, Superman's fists clenched. If that thing touches Earth, Diana interjected, voice steady but concerned, it will feel Goku's influence first, and whatever it is, it won't be subtle about testing that power. Hal floated closer to Superman. We're going to need more than just brute force this time. The figure in the aurora paused, energy resonating outward like a pulse across the multiverse. Every eye in the golden network flared briefly, and acknowledging the new variable. Bruce's voice cut sharply. That is not a being to underestimate. It's aware of Goku's existence. It senses him. And it's coming. Superman took a deep breath, jaw tightening. Then we prepare. Whatever comes, Earth and the multiverse needs to survive. And if it doesn't, Goku left us the lesson we need to fight it. The aurora above Earth intensified further. The silhouette's form solidified, revealing only hints of humanoid shape, hands, legs, torso, but its energy shifted constantly, impossible to define fully. Its eyes, or the places they should have been, glowed like fractured stars. Then, without warning, it stepped forward, moving toward Earth faster than thought, tearing space with each stride. The League braced as energy began rippling outward, threatening to destabilize reality, but it did not. Goku's residual harmonics held the fabric together. Superman looked to the sky. He left to protection, and just enough to buy us time. Diana nodded. But how long before it's overwhelmed? Hal's grin faded. Not long. That thing is coming for more than just a fight. It wants the anomaly himself. Bruce's jaw tightened. And if it finds him, it won't care about Earth, or Apocalypse, or any of us. It will consume the multiverse like a wildfire. The aurora above Earth flared one final time, blasting a visible wave of energy across the continents. The silhouette's form rippled violently, energy flaring. And then in the calm after the flare, it stopped. Floating silently above Earth, it seemed to pause, almost studying, almost deciding. Hal whispered, almost to himself, "It's waiting. For something or someone." Superman's eyes scanned the void. "Goku." Diana's gaze hardened. "He may be gone, but we're not ready for this alone." Bruce's voice was grim. "Prepare the defenses, alert the other heroes, and hope Goku's residual presence lasts long enough." The silhouette above Earth pulsed again. Its energy warped time and space, subtly, like reality itself was bending to its will. Then it tilted its head slightly, as if sensing something far beyond, something unreachable. And in that moment, a whisper of wind, faint yet undeniable, swept across the planet. A lingering trace of Goku's presence, harmonizing the chaos around it. The figure's energy flared violently, reacting instantly to the faint harmonic signature. A silent promise echoed. The multiverse had survived once, but the next storm was coming. Cut to black. The silhouette hovered silently above Earth, its energy flaring in unpredictable pulses that bent the very light around it. Space beneath its feet shimmered like a disturbed pond. Cities looked calm from orbit, but the faint hum of residual ki from Goku lingered everywhere, subtly vibrating through the planet. On the Watchtower, the Justice League watched the anomaly with caution. Superman's fists clenched, heat vision faintly flaring. "It's studying us, measuring, waiting for something or someone." Diana's eyes narrowed. "It's aware of the residual energy Goku left behind. That's what it's sensing." Hal's grin was gone. "Yeah, and judging by the size of that energy, it isn't friendly. Whatever it is, it's not here for a conversation."
Bruce tapped rapidly on his console, analyzing the energy signature. "It's not just raw power, it's adaptive. The residual harmonics from Goku are affecting it. Its energy pulses increase and decrease in response to the harmonics. This isn't a normal attack, it's testing the balance." Below, the streets of the city trembled faintly as the energy from above began subtly interacting with the atmosphere. Windows rattled, electricity sparked in power grids, and the faintest gravity fluctuations rippled through the air. People looked up, sensing unease they could not explain. Superman flew forward, hovering just below the figure. "I need to know what it wants. I'll try to communicate." But before he could speak, the silhouette shifted. In a blink, it was directly above him, energy flaring outward in a pulse that rippled across the planet like a shockwave. Superman braced up, but the pulse didn't harm him. It felt probing. Almost like the figure was reading the planet itself, testing its stability. "Not an attack," Diana whispered. "It's evaluating. Like a predator testing its prey, but on a cosmic scale." The golden eyes, distant yet visible faintly in the void, pulsed once, as if acknowledging the new variable. Even they were uncertain. Then the silhouette moved again, faster than thought, descending through the atmosphere, yet without creating destructive turbulence. It stopped a kilometer above the tallest building, hovering silently. Its form rippled, almost intangible, energy bending around it. Hal scanned the figure with his ring. I've never seen energy like this. It's not chaotic, but it's alive, adaptive, intelligent, and extremely dangerous. Bruce leaned forward. It's responding directly to Goku's residual harmonic energy. If Goku were here, it would recognize him immediately. Right now, it's interacting with his imprint, testing what he left behind. The air shimmered as the silhouette extended what appeared to be limbs or projections of energy and touched the harmonic field lingering across the planet. Instantly, the energy pulsed violently, buildings shivered. The planet's magnetic field adjusted subtly. The residual harmonics Goku left behind bent and warped to accommodate the new presence. Superman's voice was tense. So it knows Goku was here, and it's coming for him or whatever he left behind. Diana's gaze hardened. And if it finds nothing, or the harmonic energy isn't enough? Hal grimaced. Then it might destroy the planet to get an answer. A low, resonating hum began to build. The silhouette pulsed in time with the harmonic energy, each beat amplifying the other. Even the faint golden aurora Goku left behind flickered in response. Suddenly, the figure stepped forward, energy extending like tendrils into the surrounding space. The Justice League felt a subtle pull in their minds, like a mental probe, but not harmful, only probing for awareness, intelligence, and intent. Bruce's voice was tight. It's not attacking yet, but it's assessing the planet and everyone on it. That's how dangerous it is. It doesn't need to fight yet to gain the advantage. Superman clenched his fists. We need to prepare. Call every hero, every ally. If this thing escalates, Earth won't survive on its own. The silhouette's eyes, or the glowing voids where eyes should be, tilted slightly toward the city. Energy pulses radiated outward, reacting to the faintest emotional and physical cues from the planet's inhabitants. The city beneath shivered once more. Hal's voice dropped. It's aware of fear, of courage, of intent. It's alive in ways we can't predict. Whatever Goku left, it's tied to it. And it's deciding what to do next. Diana stepped forward. We don't have much time. Whatever it's planning, it will act soon. The silhouette pulsed violently, sending a massive ripple of energy across the planet. Windows shattered in distant cities, faint tremors rippled through the crust, and the aurora above flared brightly, painting the night sky in a riot of colors. And then it stopped. Completely. Silence, like the calm before a storm, fell over the planet. Hal looked at the others. It's waiting, watching, and it knows we're here. Superman's eyes scanned the horizon. It's coming. Eventually it will act, and when it does, Diana's voice cut in, steady and calm, but grave. We'll need to be ready, because nothing we've faced before will prepare us for this. High and above, the silhouette pulsed one last time as if acknowledging the planet and Goku's residual presence. Then it slowly drifted back into orbit, hovering at the edge of visibility, waiting, observing, and calculating. A faint whisper of wind, a residual pulse of energy, the last echo of Goku, swept across the planet, harmonizing the subtle distortions the figure had caused. Superman's voice was grim. He may be gone, but he left us something, a way to survive what's coming. Bruce's eyes narrowed. Yes, but the universe just got a reminder. Goku isn't here, and yet his presence can attract threats beyond comprehension. We've only bought time. The aurora above Earth pulsed faintly once more, the last visible trace of the anomaly. And somewhere, In the vast void, the silhouette lingered, waiting for the harmonic signature to grow stronger. Waiting for the anomaly to return. Cut to black. The sky above Earth roared with unseen energy, not thunder, not storm, but a pulse that vibrated through the planet itself, a resonance that hinted at forces far beyond comprehension. Cities below remained intact, miraculously, but every hero could feel the subtle weight pressing against reality. On the Watchtower, the Justice League braced. Superman hovered tens of meters above, fists clenched. "It's making its move," he said, eyes scanning the aurora pulsating across the sky. Diana's expression hardened. "Not toward us yet, but it's probing, testing the planet's defenses, our reactions, even our will." Hal's ring flared with readings. "I've never seen anything like this. Energy adaptation, sentience, intelligence. Oh, and did I mention the absolute potential to tear Earth apart if it wanted?" Bruce didn't respond. He stared at his consoles, tracing the ripples across multiple universes. The harmonic residue Goku left is the only reason the planet is stable, but the figure isn't just responding, it's learning. Every movement we make, every defensive measure, it adapts. Below, the streets shivered as faint tremors ran through the ground. Cars rattled, windows shook. People looked skyward, sensing something monumental was unfolding above. And then the figure descended. Slowly. Its form became clearer in the aurora above. Humanoid, but ever shifting, rippling with crimson, violet, and faint gold streaks, like liquid energy bending through solid space. Its eyes, or voids, locked on to the city. Hal swallowed. Yep, it's officially here. The figure paused midair, energy pulsing in waves. Every pulse interacted with Goku's residual harmonics, bending and amplifying them. The aurora intensified, rippling across continents. The faintest shockwave lifted debris from streets and caused minor quakes, but Earth's integrity remained intact. Superman took a deep breath. "We need to engage now." Diana nodded. "Careful. This isn't just a fight. It's a test, and we don't know the rules." The figure extended what resembled arms, or projections of pure energy, and reached toward the planet. The Justice League braced for impact, but instead of a destructive strike, the energy pulse swept across the harmonic fields left by Goku. It was probing, almost conversing, a silent exchange of power, testing every layer of the residual energy. Bruce muttered, voice tight. "It's trying to interface with Goku's imprint, not attack yet. But if it determines dominance, it will escalate." Hal's grin returned, albeit faint. "So it's like a cosmic puzzle, and with the pieces it's rearranging or squishing." Suddenly, the figure's energy flared violently. A massive ripple erupted from its form, stretching across the planet and interacting with every gravitational, magnetic, and energy field. Buildings trembled, oceans shivered. The aurora split into streaks of gold, crimson, and violet, illuminating the sky like a celestial storm. Superman fired a heat vision blast directly at the figure, testing it. The energy wave hit, but didn't harm it. Instead, the figure absorbed the blast, its aura flaring in response. Then, it redirected the energy outward in a controlled pulse, not destructive, but demonstrative, a warning, a reminder of its power. Diana lifted her sword, aura flaring. "We need to coordinate. Attack without Goku's presence is dangerous." Hal circled, generating protective shields around the city. "We're basically babysitting the planet until Goku, or whatever comes next, shows up." The figure's eyes, or voids, tilted slightly as if acknowledging their presence. Then, without warning, it descended rapidly toward the Watchtower. The League braced. Energy erupted around it like solar flares bending through the stratosphere. Bruce's voice was urgent. "Brace for impact! It's testing us now, not the planet!" Superman met it mid-air. Collision sparks flared as the figure's energy interacted with his own. The clash didn't destroy the city below, but tremors rolled through every skyscraper, every street, every inch of the planet's crust. Diana and Hal joined in, their combined aura creating a protective lattice that partially countered the figure's adaptive energy. But it was learning with every strike, adjusting, countering, harmonizing, and amplifying itself simultaneously. The aurora above reached a crescendo, a storm of gold, violet, and crimson, weaving through clouds, around skyscrapers, and into the skies beyond. Energy pulsed like a heartbeat, the heartbeat of a force far older and stronger than Earth itself. Bruce's fingers flew over his console. It's feeding off Goku's residual harmonics. Every strike we throw is teaching it, adapting it, making it stronger, but also more aware. Superman's voice was tight. Then we can't hold it long. It's learning too fast. Diana's eyes narrowed. Then we do what Goku would do, protect, stabilize, harmonize, not attack blindly. Hal grinned faintly. Great. So we're babysitters and chess players in a cosmic energy puzzle? Perfect. The figure paused above the Watchtower. Its energy pulsed violently, bending light and space, and then it tilted its head slightly, almost curious. Superman's jaw tightened. It knows we're holding it back, and it's deciding its next move. Bruce's voice was grim. Whatever it does next, it will escalate the stakes. The planet is a testing ground, and the residual harmonics from Goku are the key. The aurora flared one final time, sending visible shockwaves across the horizon. The figure hovered silently, radiating adaptive energy, waiting, calculating, and preparing. Hal muttered almost to himself, "This is just the beginning. The multiverse just got a new player, and it's about to change everything." Cut to black. The sky above Earth burned like liquid fire. The aurora, now a roaring storm of gold, crimson, and violet, twisted across the horizon, bending clouds and city lights into impossible shapes. The silhouette, the multiversal anomaly, hovered high above, a living prism of energy, every pulse bending space around it. The Justice League braced on the Watchtower. Superman hovered closest to the figure, fists clenched, aura flaring. Diana stood firm beside him, sword glowing faintly. Hal circled with protective shields, while Bruce's hands flew across every console, analyzing every subtle energy fluctuation. "This is no ordinary battle," Bruce muttered. "It's testing us, our planet, and the residual energy Goku left. Every pulse we feel is data for it, every reaction a lesson, and it's learning fast." Suddenly the anomaly descended, faster than thought, slamming toward the Watchtower with such force that the building itself groaned. Yet Earth's crust remained intact, Goku's harmonic energy acting as a stabilizer, keeping reality from fracturing under the immense pressure. Superman met the figure mid-air. The clash was monumental, energy radiating outward in waves that bent light, warped gravity, and rippled the aurora above. Every strike the figure delivered was adaptive. Every counter the League attempted only made it stronger, more aware, more in tune with the planet's harmonic resonance. Diana moved in with precision strikes, sword glowing as she deflected energy pulses. Hal's shields flared, intercepting stray waves that could have obliterated the city below. Yet the figure adapted instantly, bending each strike, flowing around the attacks, its every movement calculated yet fluid, almost alive. Bruce's voice cut through the tension. "It's not just reading our attacks, it's integrating the harmonic energy Goku left behind. Every defensive measure we use, every counter is feeding it. It's a feedback loop." Superman's eyes narrowed. "Then we have to fight differently."
We can't just clash. It has to understand we're not a threat to the universe itself, or it could escalate beyond control. The figure pulsed violently, as if sensing Superman's intent. Its energy expanded outward in a visible shockwave that interacted with the residual harmonics on the planet. Buildings trembled, oceans rippled faintly. Yet, despite the display, there was no true destruction. Instead, it was a probing pulse, a test of balance. Diana shouted, "We stabilize, not attack. Focus on the city, the people, don't feed it." Hal gritted his teeth. "How do you stop something that feeds off everything you do?" Bruce interjected, voice calm but urgent. "We synchronize, use Goku's residual energy, guide it, channel it, don't fight it directly, harmonize it like he would." The League acted in perfect coordination. Superman projected his aura to channel the harmonic energy. Diana used her sword to stabilize fluctuations. Hal expanded protective barriers to redirect pulses, and Bruce manipulated satellite systems to amplify the resonance. Slowly, the aurora above began to stabilize, bending around the figure rather than being distorted by it. The anomaly paused mid-air, energy pulsing violently, then tilted slightly as if recognizing the shift. Its adaptive responses slowed, an almost imperceptible hesitation, the first sign of vulnerability since its arrival. Superman's voice was firm. "It's reacting to the harmonics. It's listening. Keep it up." Diana's sword flared brighter. "We maintain the flow. Guide it. Don't control it. Let it understand Earth's balance." Hal's protective shield shimmered as they absorbed and redirected the pulses. "I've got a feeling this is exactly what Goku would do if he were here." The figure pulsed violently again, but this time the energy felt different. Less chaotic, less probing, more responsive. It extended tendrils of energy toward the planet, but now, instead of destabilizing, they harmonized with Goku's residual aura. Bruce's jaw tightened. "It's adapting to the harmonics themselves, not us, Goku's energy. It's not hostile, at least not fully." Superman exhaled, eyes still locked on the figure. "Then maybe it's testing us to see if we can maintain harmony long enough for Goku's influence to reach it." The aurora above the city began to pulse in time with the figure, creating a symphony of energy that wrapped around the planet. It was breathtaking, almost beautiful, yet tense with immense potential danger. Every fluctuation could have shattered reality, but instead it became a dance, a dialogue of power, intelligence and balance. The anomaly paused. Its energy shimmered and rippled, observing the planet, the League, and the residual harmonics. Then, slowly, almost imperceptibly, it lifted away from the city, hovering at the edge of the atmosphere. Hal exhaled. "It's pulling back?" Diana nodded slowly. "For now. But it's learning, waiting, calculating, and Goku's energy is still guiding it." Bruce's eyes narrowed. "This isn't a victory. It's a delay, a warning. Whoever or whatever this is, it knows the anomaly exists, and it will return." Superman hovered silently, gaze fixed on the figure now disappearing into the upper atmosphere. "Then when it does, we'll be ready. And next time, maybe Goku himself will return." The aurora above slowly faded, leaving only the faintest trace of energy, a whisper of what had passed. Cities below remained intact, heroes exhausted but alive, the planet stable and the multiverse still holding together. Hal muttered under his breath, still awed. "Man, I hope Goku's keeping an eye on this. The universe just got way bigger than we thought." Diana's voice was steady, resolute. "He left more than power behind. He left guidance, and as long as we honor it, the planet can survive what's coming." The figure lingered at the edge of visibility, just beyond the planet's atmosphere, a silent observer, a challenge yet unresolved. Its energy flared faintly once, as if acknowledging the League's effort and the harmonic influence it had felt. Then, slowly, it vanished into the void, leaving only tension, wonder, and the faintest hint of a storm still brewing across the multiverse. Cuts to black. The sky was calm now, or at least deceptively calm. The aurora that had torn across continents only hours ago had faded, leaving faint ripples of gold, crimson, and violet lingering across the stratosphere. Cities stood intact. Earth itself was breathing again. Yet every hero on the Watchtower could feel it, the weight of unfinished business. Superman hovered at the edge of the tower, fists clenched, eyes scanning the horizon. It left, for now, but it's coming back. Stronger, smarter. And we're not ready to face it alone. Diana's gaze was steady, sword in hand, but her eyes reflected concern. It reacted to Goku's harmonics. That's the key. Whoever or whatever that figure is, it's tied to him now, and the universe has changed because of it. Hal floated lazily, trying to mask his exhaustion with a grin. Yeah, and I get the feeling coming back isn't just another wave of attacks, it's a test, and we're the subjects. Bruce leaned over the holographic console, tracing faint traces of energy still lingering across the planet. It adapted every strike, every pulse of energy we made. It observed, integrated, and reacted. That was never meant to be a simple battle. That was a calibration. And we've just been measured. Superman exhaled slowly. Then we need to prepare. Alert every ally, every hero. If Goku's presence left its imprint, then the universe itself could attract forces beyond anything we've faced before. Diana nodded. We protect, we stabilize, and we wait. For now, Earth is safe, but vigilance is mandatory. Every fluctuation, every ripple in space-time, it could be the next sign. Hal muttered, almost to himself, and we're babysitting the universe while some cosmic entity takes notes. Fantastic. Suddenly, a faint pulse resonated through the planet. It was subtle at first, barely perceptible, but it grew steadily. Superman's eyes widened. That pulse, Goku's residual harmonics. They're strengthening? Bruce's fingers flew across the console. It's reacting to something outside Earth, outside even this universe. Whoever or whatever was influenced by Goku's arrival, it's feeding, growing, and preparing for something bigger. Diana's voice was grave. The anomaly he left behind isn't gone. It's waiting, and Earth, the League, everyone here is part of the test. Hal's ring glowed faintly, scanning the faint harmonic signature. I've never seen energy like this. It's alive, and it knows we're aware of it. That makes it even more dangerous. Superman hovered silently for a moment, scanning the stars. Goku may have left, but his presence lingers, and that presence may be the only reason we're still standing. Bruce's jaw tightened. We've been measured, we've been observed, and we've survived, but this is just the beginning. Whoever or whatever interacted with his residual energy now knows the limits of Earth's defenses. It knows us, and it will return. Diana's hand rested on her sword hilt. Then we prepare, we stabilize, we protect, and we honor the balance he left behind. That is the only way we survive the next encounter. Hal floated toward the edge of the Watchtower, looking at the faint shimmer in the atmosphere where the anomaly had lingered. I don't know about you guys, but I can't wait to see what happens when it comes back. Superman exhaled, calm but determined. We'll be ready. We have to be. The universe survived once, and it will survive again. But we've all learned one truth. Goku may be gone, but his influence will never leave. The Watchtower stood silent, looming above the planet. Faint traces of the aurora glimmered like embers against the night sky. Somewhere, in the vastness of the multiverse, the figure lingered, watching, calculating, preparing for its next move. And far beyond Earth, beyond time, beyond any known universe, the faintest whisper of energy, a trace of Goku's presence, remained. A reminder, a warning, and a promise. The anomaly may return. The city below remained calm, unaware of the cosmic scales at play above them. Heroes gazed into the sky, aware that while today was safe, tomorrow held the threat of forces they could scarcely imagine. The aurora shimmered faintly, fading completely. Silence returned. The storm of energy, the clash of worlds, the adaptive cosmic threat, all had paused. But the echo of Goku's arrival and the ripple it left across the multiverse lingered forever. Cut to black.